going on? What's going on? It's okay. It's okay. Dad.
No. No, no, no. Damn! No, great mother, no. No, great mother. Oh, my son.
That's
son. No!
that's you.
My son!
That's every single family.
What's going on?
Okay. That is very sad. But what I really want to get into, and I'm glad let me get into so, ladies and gentlemen, you may be wondering why am I doing that? Why am I showing this? With all the reviews for not The Way of Water, but Fire and Ash, and I think I had the right setting on. Anyway, I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about it, because, and I'm looking at the other screen because I got my playlist and everything, and I've got John Campea here, right? I've got John Campea, but I don't know how I feel about social media reactions. I don't. I kind of like the fact that they're talking about it, but they're talking. It's kind of like I've got mixed feelings about it, mixed reviews, if you will. On one side, I don't like it because you're trying to promote a film that has not come out yet, and haters are going to see that, and that's already giving them fuel to say this movie is so bad that the studio had to release only private event screenings so that they can solicit positive reviews. You know, and that's going to be a biased opinion. And I know why they're doing it, but when you do that, you are somewhat doing that, and I'm afraid that Avatar is going to get that that negative reputation feedback that, hey, well, now we don't have enough faith in our movie, so we're actually releasing early screenings for people, for reviewers, because we know they're going to talk about it. Yes, there is a review embargo in place, but that review embargo does not affect social media reactions, which are different from reviews. They're basically like mini reviews in a way. It's like giving you out of theater response or reaction to a movie you just saw. And pardon me, but I am trying to go into my channel, but I'm trying to edit my video here, because I'm trying to include every video that I watch as a reference, so I don't get copyright violations or in what they call infringement, whatever, infringement. Okay. Also include the videos. Okay, let's see. Videos. Pardon me. But yeah, John Campea, he's saying that it's going to be huge, but just like every other Avatar film based on history, it's not going to be all that huge. So
going to see it, and people go to see it multiple times. I just didn't think so. Now,
pardon me, I've already watched some of it, but I'll include the link in the video.
Rob, I think we're going to see the biggest opening that Avatar has ever had, I do think that. I think it'll be over 130 million. I think it'll be the biggest one it's ever had.
The hugest, in fact, so huge that Donald Trump, the Orange Man, will see it, and it won't be blue anymore. It'll be orange, just like the Orange Man, Donald Trump.
Because not only is it the next Avatar film, we also got that Avengers little doodad attached to it. That's going to help. But again, I don't think we're looking at a $180 million opening. Rob, I'll even say I don't think we're looking at an opening that will put it on the top 20 list. I don't think it exceeds $167 million. I think it can be 140, 150, maybe even 160, but I don't even think it's going to be a top 20. So it's going to be big, but I don't think we're about to see a domino cascading falling of ticket selling websites crashing as a result of it. Because that's just not what Avatar films do. They don't open big. And here's what's going to happen, Rob. Here's what's going to happen. Just like what happened with Avatar Way of Water, it's not going to have a huge opening. And go woke, go broke. Too much of the girl Na'vi. Remember that? Like an opening weekend and all
Yeah, get ready for the bullshit.
these articles and videos got made. It's like, guys, don't you remember the last Avatar only opened to 77 million? So this one opened huge. You'll get all those kind of videos getting made about it. Then everybody else will say, slow your roll, just wait, let's see how it does over the next month. And then it'll make like $1.7 billion. At any rate, guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier, that's Zapier.com/Campia.
Hold up a second. Did he say Zapier or Zapier? I think Zapier. Give me one.
Get started for free by visiting Zapier.com. You work with Zapier. 0.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for tickets. Zapier makes it simple. T or Claude right into the apps you already use. From sales and marketing, 4 million work that matters, and I act. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff. No complexity comes in. Zapier is the AI doesn't act of the past the next month, and then it'll make like $1.7 billion. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is...
He did say Zapier, my bad. And I'm going to have to include a link to the description. I don't have to include a link to the description because it's in the video. Yo, that come with Zapier. I open that, see what it is about. Look ahead.
Yeah, that's Zapier.com/Campia. Rob, the tickets go on sale on Monday. How quickly are you buying yours, and just how big do you think the opening weekend on this is going to be?
Well, to be honest, I don't think Avatar Fire and Ash is on people's minds the way it's on my mind. And I just don't think that I don't think it's going to be huge to start with. I think that we're a little further out.
It is going to be huge. It's going to be fucking ginormous. It's going to be huge. So huge, in fact, Donald Trump will see it. It'll be orange. Not blue,
And
but
unless they're going to promote that the Doomsday trailer's on the front of it, the fanboys will be like, I'll get around to buying a ticket when I get around to buying a ticket. I don't think, because, like you pointed out, the way these movies open, this doesn't have... I mean, it's really weird. Within our fan community, Avatar is still poo-pooed, by, well, it's still Ferngully in space. And people don't, or they don't admit, I will freely admit, I love these movies. I could watch Avatar...
I don't like Avatar. I love Avatar.
all day and twice on Sunday. I love the Avatar movies. And I think the vision and the imagination and the filmmaking that goes into making these things is astonishing. It's the pinnacle of what technology has brought us. And yes, the stories are simple, but by design. I'm not going to apologize. That said, nobody's excited about it. You'll hear pundits say, well, Avatar has no cultural footprint anywhere. Well, that might be true. That doesn't reconcile with the amount of numbers that these movies do. People love these films. It's just,
And those who say it doesn't have a cultural footprint are just finding a reason to hate it. It's not trying to have a cultural footprint. It kind of does in a way because it's based on Native American culture. If you look at it, maybe African sometimes.
They don't live inside them the way Star Wars does, the way Star Trek does, the way Harry Potter does. People love the experience of seeing Avatar, but it's not something that I think people revisit over and over and over again. So
it's not a fandom, fan expo, Comic-Con. Gotta dress as a cosplay. I've seen a few cosplay online. I've seen one in person of somebody dressed as Neytiri, or at least a female avatar. But it's not so huge as you're gonna see a lot of people dressing as Neytiri or Jake Sully. If I did, then those are some hardcore fans, and those are well defined. You rarely would see anybody in a. I forgot the species. Give me a second. Na'vi cosplay. Not to say it doesn't happen, you just rarely see it.
it's not part of their psyche the way our other big franchises are. But everybody loves them.
Yep.
You know, I equate it to.
I do.
I like going to the country fair once
Including
a year.
me.
I like riding the roller coaster at the Western Washington Fair. I like getting scones and candied apples, and I have a great time. But when I leave, I don't really think about it again until the next year when the Western
I do, but that's just me.
Washington Fair comes around, and I'm going to go do the Puyallup one more time. And I have a great time, but then I don't think about it for the rest of the year. And I think Avatar's kind of like that. So I think it'll do okay, but I don't think we're going to shatter any records or there's going to be no shattering at all. People will be, oh yeah, I'll get around to buying those tickets. So I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, and again, I can't help but kind of chuckle a bit when I hear the people talking about how nobody cares about Avatar. I hear that thrown around so much.
All the time.
Really? Nobody cares about Avatar. Huh. That's funny. It's the #1 film of all time.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, the sequel is the #3 film all time. 2 Avatar films
Go to your channel.
have grossed over $5 billion. Let me repeat that. Over $5 billion. Yet you say nobody cares about Avatar. Sure thing.
They care because the numbers obviously wouldn't be that. I mean, unless they're wigged or lied about. But yeah, they care. They give a damn.
What it is, John?
They give a
What is it?
huge fucking
These
damn.
movies aren't cool.
They care. Huge is in
They're
fact give a damn.
family movies at their core. What it is, John?
They give
they're,
a
What is
they're,
it?
they're
fucking
these
damn.
nice movies. They don't have an edge to them. They're probably the greatest family films of all time. Because not only, I mean, yeah, it started out as a cool science fiction film, but what they become is really a story about the strength of family, more so than the Fast and the Furious movies, more so than Lilo.
It really is about family. You're right.
These are the most, I mean, in terms of movies that sort of embody the frontier spirit of what America could be, you know, fighting against injustice, keeping your family together no matter what. And if there's misfits outside, you bring them into the family for strength. These people are people of faith because they believe in Awa. And in a way, none of it is cool. None of it has an edge. It's all sort of, and yet
Sorry, it just occurred to me that I didn't have my screen. I had my screen in full mode. I didn't have it on the white. I didn't have it on the white. No, you got to be careful with OBS Studio. So you got to be careful.
at the same time, I think when people see these movies, they feel like this is the world that we want to build.
Yeah.
I mean, get into the psychology of it all.
I'm just here to establish an alibi.
I think that's what it is. You know, I like to say that, yeah, man, I like The Crow and I like Blade Runner and I like all these, but those movies have an edge.
All these
Avatar-
movies that nobody actually goes to see.
I mean, but the thing about Avatar is they're these beautiful.
Yeah, nobody goes to see The Crow or Blade Runner. Nobody does.
I mean, you one of the things about, even when you watch the behind the scenes documentary on Disney, even watching these movies, the behind the scenes are beautiful. You know, even though it's all motion capture, there's something about these films that are incredibly, I think they're nurturing for the soul. And that's not cool. Not in this day and age. But everybody craves it.
What he's saying is, I don't know his name. Avatar is needed. It's kind of like people behind closed doors, behind closed locked doors. Whenever they get home, they pray for something to make them to cleanse their soul, and not to. Let me go into my other first one. Not to be like these. Not to suggest the idea that these movies are Jesus. But you know what's funny? Because the man upstairs, he acts in mysterious ways. And I think that Avatar is one of those savior-type movies that not only save the franchise or the cinema in general, but they kind of teach people in a way, because you like you see faith. You see faith in these movies. Faith in whatever you have faith in is faith in the movie industry again. Because this is a legendary director that is, he directed Titanic and the first Terminator movies. He's bringing back his vision, his Avatar series. And I can never get this damn beanie right. But, yeah, and there's supposed to be 2 other movies after this. There's supposed to be all the way, Avatar 4 and 5. But the way he originally made them is, if number 3 is the final one, according to the studio execs, they might not want to go with 4 and 5. If they don't greenlight 4 and 5, it can end with 3. That's at least what Cameron said. James Cameron, that's what he said.
Yeah. Everybody wants it.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Avatar, Fire and Ash, tickets go on sale on Monday. It's going to be big. But I don't think that big, because the Avatar films, despite being the number 1 and number 3 all-time biggest films in the history of the world, they don't actually open that big. They just get momentum and keep going. So I think it's going to be really big, but maybe not all that big. Maybe you disagree. How big of an opening are you expecting for Avatar, Fire and Ash? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your...
I'm going to tell them my thoughts right now. I like to include comments. Okay. It'll be bigger than Wicked for Good. It will slap that out of the way. It won't slap it out of the way. It'll just kind of get the fuck out of my way. Wicked, you had your time. Move over. The fucking Navi, you here, motherfucker. We were here. We were back. We are back to grab your attention. Guess who's back? Jake is back. Jake is back. Jake is back. Anyway, yeah, I think it's gonna be bigger than Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good. Because I hated that movie. I kind of, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of people talking about it because they're trying to get views and subscribers based on the view count for this topic, this one hot topic, I'm gonna call it. And I think I kind of want to do it too because I love Avatar. I'm really kind of skeptical about which videos to watch because I don't want to get a copyright violation, but I do want to get started here. I just hate, like I said, I just hate the fact that people, they give their reactions because I don't know if it's a good idea. I just don't know if it's really a good idea. People like Perry Nemiroff, whatever her name is, she's going to do it because she's paid to do it. And admittedly, they had the world premiere in Dolby Theater in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. The zip code is 90028. White Nicks. They didn't have it at the Chinese Theater. They had it at the Dolby Theater. The TCO Chinese Theater is right next to it, and across from that is, of course, El Capitan. I lived in Hollywood for about 4 years. I used to work at the Dolby Theater, and while I would have loved to see them there, I have no regrets. I'm excited to wait for this movie and to not really think about it, to occupy my time while I await this movie. I've already got tickets. Do get tickets early. I'm also finding other videos that I kind of want to take a look at, just in case, just later on. But there's a shitload, it looks like. And I'm kind of skeptical about what I should watch, because I don't want to get a copyright violation of any sort. But I want to watch a few. And you see what I'm talking about? People keep talking about the Hulk. Has big plans for She-Hulk. Actress, not interested. It's like, why do we keep doing that? Why do we keep talking about the Hulk? What are we doing here? Anyway. People still talking about Tron because the AI pays attention, and it's very annoying. Anyway.
Thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called The John Cam.
Yeah, thanks. Let's go to this other review. I want to see what that's about.
Avatar, Fire and Ash. Also known.
Let me check these settings. We'll have to write both.
Avatar, Fire and Ash, also known as the event of the dropping of the Avengers Doomsday trailer, has had its premiere. As such, first reactions are now coming out online, because as well as the premiere, they've also had some spattering of some critic screenings of it, which says a lot, because they're doing these screenings and letting the first reactions come out more than 2 weeks in advance of the film, which to me suggests they have some confidence in the film. That's always good.
It's actually 2.5 weeks, because and I'm going to my calendar here. The movie is set to be, never mind that. I wish I could hide this. There's not a way to hide it. Anyway, I don't care if it's it. So the movie is set to be here, obviously. Wow, I'm gonna be a ticket taker on the 19th. Okay. You know what? Be a little greedy. Go to amctheaters.com. Go ahead and we'll go ahead and pin this. Get 50% off tickets 2 days a week. That's Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see it Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's discounts. Okay. But I'm gonna go into my tickets here, and I should have done this earlier. I got it for the 18th and the 19th. I'm gonna view my ticket. Oh, I got two on the 18th. I'm not gonna see it twice on the same day, but I could have sworn I already added. Oh, I added to my Google calendar, my Apple calendar. Added to my Apple calendar, not my Google calendar. My bad. Anyway, yeah, I added it to my Apple calendar first, but I'm gonna add it to my Google calendar as well, because I like to have both calendars, because I have Android phone and Apple phone. Yeah. Never mind little old me. Anyway, tickets. Okay, so I guess I gotta refresh it. It should have been there automatically. Really? Oh, the 18th. My bad. Anyway, so they open out on Thursday, no longer Friday. But look, they say Saturday. They say Friday the 19th. Today is the 3rd, right? Let's count 2 weeks. 14 days exactly. It's already Wednesday, depending on where you are. 14 days exactly is December the 17th. Day later is the 18th. That's when it's gonna really come out. To be honest, and, I'm gonna change this to be kind of like the color of the movie. I gave it a flamingo color. There we go. Yeah. And I'm probably not going to see both times. I'm probably going to see one time. But anyway. I want to get tickets for the 19th and 20th as well, because I really do want to go see this movie. But if you pay attention, I want to see it in the biggest format first. I believe both of these tickets, I have it in IMAX. Let me double check on this. There's also an AMC thing to see it in Dolby Cinema for a chance to win something else, to get points or whatever. 16, so that is IMAX. Does it say 3D? This is also IMAX. Does it say 3D? 10:45 and 2 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and open showtimes. And I'm going to get back to John Hill.
The first reactions are incredible. Here's the general gist. Amongst a lot of the reactions, some of them are saying, yeah, you know what? It's a little bit of a retread of Way of Water. But even the ones that are saying that are still saying it's still a spectacular viewing experience. And out of the 40 or 50 reactions that I've read, there have been 2 or 3 that straight up didn't like the movie. Vast majority of them, a lot of them saying it's their favorite of the Avatar franchise, and a whole bunch of them saying they're already covering ground they've already covered. A little repetitive that way, but overall an incredible experience watching this thing. Let's go over and read some of the reactions that the Hollywood Reporter pulled together. Our friend Eric Davis wrote, James Cameron's Avatar Fire and Ash is a phenomenal movie-going experience. It's the biggest of the 3. Action-packed, visually jaw-dropping, and rich with themes of family, legacy, and survival. The way it weaves fire, water, air, and land into every nook and cranny of the...
So these 2 times right here that I got for the 2 and the 10:15 respectively. I'm looking at the page. I'll go ahead and... Damn it. I keep clicking on different things. So this is for Thursday, December 18th. Exactly 2 weeks from now almost. These 3 times, 2 o'clock, 6:15, 10:45, all IMAX with laser 3D. The Dolby 3D is also, because that's like that's you know. This day they don't have it in regular IMAX, but if I go to the 19th, the day later, which is the day that your A-list refreshes itself, if you're an A-list member, we still got 3D. They should have an IMAX eventually, but they're really trying to push this 3D trend. Also, The Housemaid. I also want to see that. And SpongeBob the movie. I want to see David. There's a lot of movies I want to see. Okay, Saturday. And I also got to do trailer checks for it, by the way, too. Yep, looks like we're still doing IMAX for 3D. Just gonna go. We'll go all the way to Monday. Let's go Sunday. Yeah. I guess this is to Monday the 26th. Still IMAX for 3D, damn. That's because the film was shot in 3D. Actually, it was shot in 3D. Anyway, John.
The film is just spectacular. Scott Mendelson wrote, there's too much been there, done that. This is one of those ones I was talking about. This is interesting the way he puts this. There's too much been there, done that in terms of plot beats and set pieces. But Avatar Fire and Ash is still an awe-inspiring technical and visceral achievement. It doesn't skimp on the melodrama or intensity as James Cameron delivers towering spectacle of such all-in, I'm going to jump over and get the rest of it, of such all-in splendor that it plays like the last movie that's ever going to get made. Yeah, this third Avatar rocks.
Hold on. It doesn't skimp on the melodrama or intensity as delivers a towering spectacle of such awe and splendor that it plays like it's the last movie that's ever going to get made. So that means like they're trying to act like it's going to be the last one, period, and if it is, it's going to go out with a bang. That's what they're saying. But you know they're going to make a fourth one and a fifth one. Come on, it doesn't skimp. You know, I'm really interested in what the word skimp means. Let's see. Lose less time on until something than is necessary in an attempt to economize. So you're trying to save. What does skimp mean? To give not enough or barely enough attention in an effort to fund. Okay. To save. Basically be cheap. That's what that means. Okay.
So this
And
is,
for Mendelsohn to say that,
yeah. Now again, this is one of those examples where there are going to be some of these critics saying, yeah, some of it's going to feel repetitive, and some of it feels like it's too much of the blueprint of Way of Water.
Well, to be fair, it's a direct continuation of The Way of Water. Like, there is a distinctive difference between Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water, between one and two, and it's ultimately connected by Jake Sully and his wife, who Coleridge calls him Miss Sully, Jake Sully. He adorably calls her Miss Sully, even though they don't use the term Miss in Na'vi language. But why not say adorably, God? The point I'm making is there's a difference between 1 and 2. 2 is a sequel, but because 2 is more about family and 1 is about get the gore, straight up Pocahontas and Dancing with Wolves theme that people said they blamed Avatar for being Dances with Wolves and Pocahontas. They acted like we have so much of this already, it's just a repeat. There's not a whole lot of Pocahontas movies, and there's not a whole lot of Dances with Wolves type films. These type of films, there's not a whole lot of. And to hit home on it, James Cameron just probably did it best. You probably had seen Pocahontas in the 90s when he was generating a story. He said he woke up with it one day and just drew the symbol or whatever, and he was working on Titanic. But the point I'm making is that was already a best-selling film. And it wasn't, like John said, it wasn't the best, biggest movie. It wasn't as big as Avengers or Transformers even, but it was still a visual spectacle, if not anything else. And number 2 was a completely different theme. It's not only about getting the gore. He's already married in a way. He has kids now. Love and marriage. But this third one is going to be a direct sequel from number 2. Meaning that they basically shot 2 and 3 together. Like they did Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. They shot them back to back. Because they did not want the kids, the children cast, to age. Because once you grow out of those out of the characters, you can't really fit into the. They had to do a lot more work. He wanted to make sure. Cameron wanted to make sure they didn't age. So that's why. That's the technical reason. The primary technical reason. Well, one of them anyway. However, I'm more focused on the fact that it's a direct continuation of the second one. It's basically. I can't say it because I haven't seen it, so I can't say it. I want to say not Fire and Water, but The Way of Water 2.5 or whatever. No, never mind.
But it's insanely good. And you know what? Before I keep reading more of these, I'm okay with that. It's like if you're somebody who loves roller coasters, what are you gonna do? This roller coaster had a loop. I've been on another roller coaster that had a loop. Yeah, but were you thrilled?
Right.
Were you excited? Did it give you the experience? Because you know me, Rob, at the end of the day, movies are experiential events. And if your movie delivers an experience for me, That's all that really matters to me. And I think this is
calling
one of
me.
those reviews I was just
Hey,
like,
Tips.
yeah, it
Tips,
does
you got-
tread some ground. It does feel like a little bit of we've been there, done that. But this is a stunning achievement. And that's what a lot of the vast majority of these are. We move on to Bill Bria, who writes, Avatar Fire and Ash is a knockout, an epic that delivers on an enormous scale, with the characters and world building paying off surprising dividends. It's a delight to see the film be this big while still being a narratively and visually bold work of science fiction, quote unquote, the best one yet. Simon Thompson wrote, with Avatar Fire and Ash, master storyteller and visionary filmmaker James Cameron again delivers a hyper-real experience that's emotional and exhilarating. Repeatedly and exhaustively raising its own bar, this is an audacious feat that delivers more than anyone ordered. Courtney Howard wrote, Avatar Fire and Ash. 3 films in, James Cameron still has the sauce, making the epic spectacular feel emotionally impactful. A glorious saga, bold, brilliant, and awesome in every way. This is what movie theaters were built for. Payakin is still my favorite, but Varang, who I believe is your
Payakan.
fire priestess.
Not
She
Payakan,
is.
it's
She is
Payakan.
all of our fire priestesses. Varang is the
It's
MVP.
Payakan. He's up, guys.
The Holophiles writes, Avatar Fire and
still
Ash
cool.
is a monumental cinematic
wanna see
achievement.
the look.
Astonishing boundary-pushing visuals are accompanied by an enthralling narrative filled with poignant commentary and genuinely moving character work. By
just says 'cause
far
you
the
can do
best
that.
Avatar movie, epic, ambitious,
You're just jealous 'cause
heartfelt,
I'm
a
skinny.
must-see. Eric Goldman wrote, Avatar Fire and Ash is another visually fantastic epic that also contains a couple of the most emotional moments in the series. On the other hand, I had some issues with the third act. The Way of Water remains peak for me, but damn, Cameron delivers spectacle like no one else. Chris Killian wrote, Avatar Fire and Ash is a damn good James Cameron movie. What else do you need to know? Go see it in 3D. I'll probably skip the 3D of it. Anyway, in the best theater you can
Really?
because it'll blow your
6 to 10.
mind. That's what James Cameron does. Every bit as gorgeous as you'd expect. Fire and Ash is also easily the most intense Avatar. Eric Voss from New Rockstars wrote, I saw Avatar Fire and Ash. I was surprised at how well the movie plunges you right back into Pandora and makes it every bit as stunning and thrilling as it has always been. I admire how earnest these movies are. It's exactly as good as the first 2 and deserves as many billions. Josh Param writes, Avatar Fire and Ash. Now, this is one of those ones that didn't quite like it so much.
Because they talk too much.
Avatar Fire and Ash is overstuffed with a lot of plot, further dragged down by repeating familiar beats, which we heard from other people too, from the previous entries. But Cameron still delivers amazing spectacle. With an intriguing, darker tone, there's novel concepts here that I wish they more
What
thoroughly
are we laughing
explored.
at?
So even the one that didn't like it is saying it's still spectacular. Brian Toe wrote, Avatar Fire and Ash is extraordinary. James Cameron delivers another visual feast that has an emotional, action-packed story centered around the impact of grief and hatred. Ona Chaplin is firmly, beautifully unhinged standout as Varang. Obviously, or already want to see it again, which is a nice little thing. Last one I'll read here today. Cody wrote, never doubt James Cameron. Avatar Fire and Ash is another sprawling, ambitious, gorgeous adventure. Una Chaplin is the best new element. She's iconic, she's gaggy, etc. And her Ash tribe rocks.
All right.
Cameron expands the series' visual capacity with some innovative, trippy sequences. All right. You know, one of the things that some of these remind me of is like the first Avatar. Instead of saying it reminds me too much of previous Avatar movies, this one reminds me too much of Dancing with Wolves. They said about the first one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was a fair criticism. It was. It felt too much. What were some of the other ones they called it? Pocahontas.
Fern Gully in space.
Yeah, Fern Gully in Space. All valid.
No.
But,
I mean, valid, but yeah.
all that being true, the movie delivered a unique, visceral, awe-inspiring spectacle that ultimately went on to become the highest grossing film in the history of the industry. The second one came out and did the same. So I'm not shocked or surprised, Rob, to hear the criticisms coming from people who still like the movie, saying that it feels like it's retreading some of the themes who've already been there. Fair enough. I'll go in expecting that then.
10, 20.
But when I get on this roller coaster, is it going to thrill me? Is it going to blow my mind? Is it going to leave me white-knuckled? Is it going to leave me short of breath? Is it going to give me the experience?
And there's another loop.
And is it going to give me another kind of loop? By the way, listen, movies all aim to deliver different kinds of experiences. Some try to deliver laughter. Sometimes try to deliver an experience of fear or shock or contemplation or sorrow or thrills. The key is, does a movie deliver in spades that experience they're trying to give the audience? And if you do, you've won. And it sounds like James Cameron has won. So I like what I'm hearing from this so far. I'm not surprised to hear some of the criticisms, but it sounds like even those criticizing it say those criticisms get washed out in the overall spectacle of the movie. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Hey guys, we are right now in the middle of the holiday season, and this is always the time of year when traditions take center stage. For me, one of the small traditions I've had for myself since I was a teenager is taking at least one night during the Christmas season to just spend completely by myself, to just reflect on the year that was and how I want to improve myself in the year that's coming. The holidays can be joyful, but they can also be stressful, overwhelming, even lonely. So if you're thinking about starting therapy or getting back into it, BetterHelp is a great way to begin. BetterHelp has fully licensed therapists who work under a strict code of conduct, and they do the matching work for you. The way it works is you fill out a short questionnaire. They use over 12 years of experience to match you with someone who fits your goals. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime from their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists and more than 5 million people served, the platform's average live session rating is 4.9 out of 5 from more than 1.7 million reviews. So this December, start a brand new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's betterhelp.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing these reactions. Is this kind of in line with what you were thinking you were going to hear? Do you like what you're hearing? Are there any parts of this that are concerning to you? How are you feeling about it?
Not at all. You know, I've always said never bet against Jimmy C, and that's what one of the reviewers said. I never would. I love these movies. I love the spectacle of it. And I have to say, I found out something interesting about the film that I didn't know. When we saw stuff at CinemaCon, you know, it wasn't really a trailer. It was just scenes butted up against each other. We saw them in HFR, high frame rate. Remember how they did The Hobbit in high frame rate? Not a lot of people liked it.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
One of the things about that was, what I noticed about Avatar that's different than The Hobbit is because this takes place on Pandora and you're on an alien world, I think the high frame rate actually works. And at the Harkins Theater, I looked it up, they're giving you the opportunity to see it in 3D if you want, or you can see it in 3D HFR as well. So this is the best 3D that has ever been done by a wide margin. And seeing these in IMAX 3D is absolutely spectacular. But I can't wait to see this in HFR 3D. I don't remember from my recollection, they didn't do Fire and Water in HFR because there was a kind of a backlash against
Fire and Water.
Way of Water. But I can't wait to see this. I saw a clip
They actually did. He actually did it in the high frame rate.
with Varang and Stephen Lang's character today before it came on the show. What's that?
The "You Need Me" scene?
Yes. That, I'm so in. Watching him talk to her, I'm like, with his oily villainy, I don't care if it's too over the top and mustache twirling. I'm like, this is great. I can't wait to see this. I am more excited to see this movie than I was ever before. I can't wait to see it. I don't apologize. I love all three of these movies. I will love all three of these movies, I'm sure. I can't wait to watch the extended versions of both Avatar and Way of Water again at home. Come at me, bro.
All right, guys.
That's how I am. I'll be ready to fight somebody. I'll be ready to fight somebody. Not really, but I'll be ready to fight somebody. Talk shit about it. Talk shit about it. No. It's just that, there's so much negativity already, and it's not needed. I wonder if the Dolby's, because right now I'm looking at my ticket, like my ticket, IMAX with Laser 3D at AMC. I'm not sure if they're going to have it in 5 frame rate or not, but I will. I can ask.
Question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, the first reaction saying this thing is big, it's spectacular, action-filled. A number of them saying it's the best Avatar yet. However, a number of them are pointing out, Chris, that some of it feels thematically like it's retreading ground we've already been over.
It's going to do that, yeah.
Is this in line with what you've expected to see? Are you excited about seeing it? Maybe not. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, it's gonna it's going to retread. We tread from the last. I guess Cameron's trying to make a soap opera, if you will, because it's in high frame rate. On the last episode of Avatar, previously in Avatar Way of Water, Jake Sully had to defend his family, so he had to migrate to the Makahina, to the marshlands or whatever they call it. So it's going to do that, but you're not going to... Look, come on, man. Really... We knew it was going to happen. There's no point in bitching about it. Anyway, so it's going to retrend on the same topics. That's what sequels do. It's not surprising. It's really not surprising. It's also not a valid critique. Against it. The reason why it's not a valid critique is because going into this film, when you watch it, any sequel, you know it's gonna rehash. We trend, we visit. That's just like Wanting Time to me. Wanting Time, don't go into it saying, I didn't like the fact that it was 3 hours and 16 minutes long. If you didn't like that, don't drive to see it. Do not drive 3 or 4 hours there and 3 or 4 hours back, a total of 6 to 8 hours, and then talk about how you didn't like how long this film was. Because you're not a movie lover, you're not a cinephile. You don't like movies if you can't do that, you know. Because look, common sense. If you don't like how long this movie is, do not spend the gas and the money and the time. Just don't. I'm not telling you not to go see it. I'm telling you, if you don't feel like it's worth it, don't do it. Stay home or whatever, or see it another time. See it closer. And you don't have to see it in the biggest screen if you don't want to. I encourage you to do that. It does need to be seen in the biggest screen. However, if you feel like you don't want to spend money on it, discount Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And you can see it. I'll show you right now. I will happily go to Tuesday. And this is just one of the days. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Okay. I'm going to go... I'm gonna do a decent time. Fuck it, I'll do all four. And this is 3D IMAX. We'll do Dolby. Oh, so they got Dolby 3D and Dolby Cinema. Okay, I'm gonna do it every single time then. In regular 3D, in regular. Okay, opening a lot of tabs here, but whatever. So all this is IMAX. The height. Wow, we don't have a whole lot. Let's see if I sit right here. One of my favorite seats. And bounce over here, sitting here, and 20. And bounce over here. Sit down below. I don't want to sit this far, but whatever. Then go back to 18. Okay. At the beginning. Your 50% off tickets on Tuesdays and Wednesdays will be shown in details. Okay. Continue. Oh shit. I didn't want to. I guess I gotta go back. Because you gotta take it off that A-list selection. So the ticket is $25.79, and you get a discount off $7.30. Never mind the free waiver. Also, if you're an A-list member, even if you're the cheapest free option of A-list, not A-list but AMC Premier, you get that convenience fee waived. You're spending $18.49 on IMAX. I know it doesn't say that, but it's IMAX. 3 hours and 15 minutes. That's the first one, and that's for the 1:30 showtime, and this is the 9 o'clock showtime. Take this off of the thing here. Move forward. Same thing here for the 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Both of these are Tuesday, December 23rd, and this is also, take that off. This is for the same day. It's 10:30 p.m. Oh, $32.68 total. It's $29.99. Damn. $18.49 again, 9 a.m. So if you go anything past, and let me double check on that on IMAX. Because I know 1 p.m. anytime before 4 p.m. is called matinee, and anything after that is technically not matinee. That's regular evening price. So I'm just going to do this again. This is a 1:30, just to double check on that, because you pick any random seat. I'm just checking. I'm not actually picking seats. Okay, so $25.79. I'm not paying attention to the fee because I know they're going to waive the fee. Oh, so starting at 6 p.m. you got $29.99, and that's going to be $18.49. That's going to be $18. Oh, it's the same price. They just take off a more amount. Last time it was $7.30, and this time it's $11.50. But it's still $18.49. Okay, I see. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because it's $29.99. So the price of A-list is actually $27.95. $27.95. 5 cents from $28. So if an IMAX ticket at evening price is going to be 1 cent from $29.99, you might as well just go ahead and spend $27.95 just for 1 month at least to see Avatar. Okay, that's IMAX. Let's look at Dolby Cinema 3D. Not a lot of people are even going to see it at 2 p.m. probably because it's, whatever. Evening. And this is 7 p.m. Same thing. Bit it off the fee. Okay, so $26.79. Once again, not going to worry about the fee. $26.79. This is before matinee. This is after matinee for $30.99. That is $1 more than IMAX. I don't know why Dolby Cinema is $1 more expensive than IMAX. I don't get it. Is it the sound? Reclining chairs? I don't know. Anyway, so you save $7.30, and they knock it down to $19.49. So it's basically IMAX, but $1 more. Same thing here. They just take off $11.50, but it's $30. I mean, look, you're gonna spend $29.99 or $30.99. Damn new. I went on $30 anyway for an IMAX ticket or a Dolby Cinema ticket. Might as well just subscribe to A-List. Might as well. And this is 10 o'clock a.m. regular Dolby Cinema. When I say regular, I mean non-3D, 2D, because usually Dolby Cinema is in 2D, and they have to specify if it's in 3D. Yeah, it applies to the existing. Okay. That's weird because I don't have that. And we're looking at, now we're going to look at, this is the regular seating. Okay. Nobody wants to sit at 4:45. Weird. Okay. Don't forget your 3D glasses. Keep them clean. I got to make sure I have extra cleaning for it. Let's take it off of that. $25.49. Regular price. Once again, excluding the fee. And look, so they waived the fee, and you're saving yourself $7.30 once again off of $23.79. $16.49 for. That's still expensive for some people, even on a discount Tuesday, admittedly, because the ticket is actually at almost $24. But you're paying almost $17, so not saving a whole lot, but just saving almost $7.50. And that's just for the 10 a.m. Oh, Nail code, okay. Let's keep it going, I guess. So now this is 12:15. Just pick any random seat. $25.49, saving yourself $11.50. Once again, $13.99 for a 4:45 after matinee. By the way, p.m. showtime. That's $13.99. Not gonna continue that. Okay. $21.29. This is $9.15. I'm gonna show all these times too. I'm just letting it do its thing. 11 a.m. on the same day. These are all on Tuesday. It's 23rd. Wink. Okay, going back to 12:15. 21.29. No taxes. $13.99. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and load the next few. I'm just picking any random seat. Wink. Okay. $13.99. Oh, $9.49. What time is that? 11 a.m. So if you want to pay less than $10 for one 2D ticket, regular price, regular film, you might as well just... Because it's already priced at minimum $17 for a regular ticket. And that's one of the earliest times. You might as well just see it on Discount Tuesday at 11 a.m. 3:30. Or you can see it at 3:30. Or you can see it at 8 p.m. apparently. Not too late, not too early. Let me check that time one more time because it's best to go with people's. Oh, well, never mind then. Yeah. And that's this Tuesday, but you get the idea. I'm not sure. Should I go into Christmas Eve or not? But we'll just look at one. 6 p.m. And this is IMAX. We'll also look at Adobe. Not Adobe, but Adobe. And any random seat. I actually see better from a distance. $29.99. Not worrying about the fee. $30.99. Okay, how much are we saving? $18.49 total for one IMAX ticket. $19.49 total for one Dolby ticket. What's that? 17? And that's Dolby 3D, so you're paying $1 more for the Dolby 3D. They only got one time for that. The reason why I'm also checking this is because I got theater checks for it. Trailer checks, actually. This one. Ugh. It's gonna be big, but it's probably not gonna be that huge. It's gonna be big though, for sure. Okay. I don't know what day I should do trailer checks now that I think about it. But it's also gonna be Christmas Eve weekend. They're releasing it the weekend of Christmas. Because Christmas Day is gonna be on Thursday the 25th. Okay, so regular 2D Adobe $23.79, total of $16.49, so $1 less, I guess. But anyway, let's see what some people think about it.
What's going on, everybody? This is an out of the theater reaction to Avatar: Fire and Ash. This is the third Avatar movie, and this is just my out of the theater social reactions. Review embargo doesn't drop for a little bit, so I can't give my non-spoiler review. I can just give my initial thoughts walking out of the theater. So, first of all, I think the first thing you always need to say if you're brand new to the channel and you go, well, does this guy like the other ones? Does he crap all over them, or does he just love them emphatically? And the answer is I love them emphatically. I love the Avatar movies, so that's what you know kind of going into it. I think that everybody can agree these movies are a spectacle in general to watch. And that's what this one is. It is long. You should be prepared for that. It's one of these things, I will tell you right away, I don't think that if you're not an Avatar fan, the third one's the one that's going to win you over. They have like a formula to them in general. And it's the Sully family once again trying to connect to Pandora, and not only the evil humans are running around, now they have this new clan that's a real pain in the ass, and that's what worked for me, was the new villain. She is terrifying. I think that they needed to use her a little bit more. You see, the one thing that I will say about it, there's a lot of repeating bits from the second movie. And where I like this movie overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Out of the three of them, I have to see it again, but I will say that I probably like 1 and 2. 2 probably the best, 1 and then 3. Now, that being said, still love being in this world. The obvious, the visuals, the emotion. Zoe Saldana just does something in this role that gets me every single time. And I think that what this movie deals with when it comes to whether it is the grief, whether it is family, it delivers. And as I said, there's another criticism I have, which is just not a fair criticism, is that it's missing the late great James Horner's overall score. I miss that theme. It's in there, but there's a new composer who does a good job, but it's just not the same. Something that really works for me is the son. I think that Loak is great. Him becoming more and more of a prime character, I think, really works. Spider steps up in this one too. So they all do. The young Sigourney Weaver character also, they all connect. But like I said, there's some beats that are continuation, and I feel like I saw it in the second movie, but then there's new things. The end battle is just, again, Wonder Chef's kiss. So this movie, to me, if you're an Avatar fan, you're going to really enjoy it. It's the longest out of all of them. It's like 3:18, something along those lines, but it worked for me. And I just love being in Pandora. So walking out of it, I'm excited that I was able to see it. I'm curious what you guys are going to think. Do you want to see the movie? Do you care to see the movie? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Like I said, I'll have a full non-spoiler review when I'm allowed to. This is just my initial thoughts as I'm walking out of the theater. So Sam Worthington, great. Zoe Saldana, great. The whole cast really works, and there were sometimes the visuals are incredible. A couple times felt like video game scenes, but I think that's all of them. But that's it. That's what I can say right now. Put your thoughts in there once again, and I shall see you on the flip side. Bye.
At 2 o'clock.
Christy here. I'm at the AMC Century City. I just saw
I used to go to that.
Avatar, Fire and Ash. My kid's with me. That cackling, kind of hiccuping, choking on soda sound that you hear is my child. Still reacting to Avatar, Fire and Ash. It's just so long, you guys. It just keeps going. It is 3 hours and 15 minutes long, and it feels like every heavy, dragging second of it. It is the same kind of movie over and over again. It is beautiful, as all these movies are. And we saw it in 3D and the Dolby 4DX, and so you can feel every blast. If you love these movies, if you love the mythology of them and the world building and all of the creatures and all of the different plants and the spirituality of it, then you'll probably dig it. I just found it repetitive and exhausting, and I could not wait for it to end. There's one big, cool fight sequence involving animals that is intense. The movie gets really, really weird in ways that I found very appealing, but it takes a long, long time to get there. Yeah, it's Nick, would you agree it's sort of a crazier movie than the first two? It's a little nuttier in some ways. Yeah, like nutty things do happen, so that's good.
And the fire chick's hot.
The who is?
The fire chick.
Oh yeah, Una Chaplin, the fire chick. Yes, head fire chick, does some crazy things, and so that
Head
is kind
fire
of
chick.
appealing. There's a weirder vibe to this throughout
from the
than the
guy
other ones,
from,
but there's still
Civil
like
War.
so much heavy spirituality, and it's so self-serious in a lot of ways. So once it becomes like a full-on like crazy B movie with creatures attacking, like then it finally gets good, but like you gotta sit through a good solid 2 hours and 30-40 minutes before that happens.
that's savage.
Anyway, James Cameron still can't write dialogue. There's this horrible combination of like this very leaden kind of poetry and then like, dude, bro, no way. So
Yeah, because they're teenagers, even though they don't actually do that in reality nowadays. But I guess that's his old man interpretation of teenagers.
anyway, if this is your kind of thing, this will be your kind of thing. This is not my kind of thing. I don't love the Avatar movies. But Alonzo and I will have a full review for you when we can put one out. I think he's seeing it this week at some point. Avatar Fire and Ash, December 19th is coming out there. Come subscribe and hang out. Bye.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I hate it when people say, I don't tell people to subscribe and hang out. I mean, if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do, but we're not gonna hang out. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Anyway, let's see Chris Gore's perspective on it.
Well, I just got out of Avatar Fire and Ash. As you can tell from this on my nose, from the
You're really fucking tired of watching Avatar, and you went through 3 hours of bullshit that you didn't know what really you have to do. Should
3D glasses. Alan is not here, but I'll tell you why I thought my social media out of the theater reaction. It's a lot of movie.
Yep.
It's too much movie.
Like I said, don't complain. You went to do it. The glasses I get. You see it in 2D if you have a problem with glasses, okay? Especially if you have glasses already. Like, now that I think about it, glasses on top of glasses can get pretty pressing. Gotta make sure they're clean and shit. But yeah, don't complain about the time. Once again, I understand about glasses, but don't complain about the time, because you're a movie. You see, you love movies. You love movies. Either you do or you don't.
I don't think it needed to be
It's like Jesus said, let your answer be yes or no.
2 hours and 45 minutes for the exposition that we saw. I think it's my third favorite Avatar movie. I'll say that. The action is great. Too much exposition, I believe. And I really wanted it to go to some place that would be interesting in a science fiction sense. What's happening on Earth. There were some new ideas introduced, but this is ultimately a kids movie.
Yep.
It's more geared towards kids, this one, and I prefer that it had more serious undertones. It's a lot of retread of things we've seen in the previous two films. So in the end, did not like it as much. The action, of course, is great, but that's Cameron's strength. So I also think it's going to make a lot of money, but not the best in the series. I have more critiques when I do a full review on a few days before the movie opens. But there you are. It's a lot of movie.
I just got out of the theater from watching Avatar Fire and Ash full reviews are embargoed for another couple weeks, but we can share our out of the theater reactions, and it's an Avatar film. It's not.
Honestly, I don't think you should be allowed to share your out of theater reaction at the same time as you have an embargo. Because you say it's not an official review, but it is a mini review, and that is still a review. It doesn't have to be a full review, you know. You're just you're taking advantage of something. You're still giving your social. You're still giving your reaction, and you shouldn't be allowed to do that because you're trying to talk about it for your own, getting views and likes. Look, let's see how many views this got alone. Where's the? It's got 1.9 thousand views. Zach alone here has. Look, he's got a short and a goddamn. He's got a short interview in a. They're both out of theater, but it's a review regardless. Look, 10 reasons why Gladiator 2 failed.
Not substantially better or worse than either of the other two films. It is once again, of course, just visually stunning. It just like the other two, it feels like an IMAX documentary, except on an alien planet and with a bunch of battles inside of it. Continues to have like these big sweeping emotions as it kind of taps into real like primal stuff about protecting your family, destruction of the world, revenge, all this stuff that just has like, you know, universal emotional resonance kind of for everyone. It finds a way once again to kind of like build up to a third act battle where you're like, yeah, go kill the humans, let's do this, and has multiple waves of like, yeah, we're doing it, oh crap, I don't think we're gonna do it, and it just makes you feel big things all along the way. It has certain parts to it where it does some pretty new things with the story and kind of expands the lore. There are a lot of other aspects to it where it does feel kind of like we're remixing the first and second movies into just kind of a third version, but it's very reminiscent of things that did happen before. So I wish that it did have a little bit more of just kind of a pure freshness to it. They're like, there's parts where it changes up the dynamics of Quaritch and Jake and kind of how they're relating to each other, and it of course brings in kind of some evil members of the, you know, from the planet. Like, it doesn't stick to those quite enough, and it goes back to certain things that are familiar. And so while it brings out the big motions, it's sweeping, it's epic, like it's so satisfying in the end, there's a little bit too much familiarity to it. So if you like the previous Avatar movies, I can't imagine that this one would disappoint you. If you're someone who's a little bit more skeptical, it's probably not going to be the movie that just like wins you over and convinces you that this franchise is awesome. But James Cameron knows how to make these movies that just take you on this big journey that kind of sucks you in and just delivers big spectacle by the end of it.
Welcome to Movie World.
I'm going to go back to this exact first.
My God, James Cameron is insane. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new Out of the Theater reaction. I just got done watching Avatar Fire and Ash, and I got some thoughts. I say this as a massive fan of this franchise. I love 1 and 2. The Way of Water, I genuinely think is one of the best blockbusters ever created. So Fire and Ash, I had a lot of hype going into this. Now, while the full review embargo is not up, this is just an Out of the Theater social media reaction. I have a lot...
Okay. Out of the reaction is a personal, often immediate response to a performance, focusing on subjective feelings and opinions, while a review is a more formal, published evaluation for a broader audience that includes a summary analysis of the performance's artistic merits and objective information about what worked and what didn't. The key difference is the intent. A reaction is a personal feeling, while a review is an assessment intended to inform and help others decide whether to see it. So we got the kind of the definition, but most people they give their own personal opinion. They don't give you even a hint of objective, let your brain sit on it, sleep on it type of opinion or perspective. What they do is they keep talking about their feelings, because anytime you say I feel or even I think, well, really it's just I feel, not I think, but I feel, you're immediately going into your feelings, your emotions, and somebody like women do this a lot, especially what is her name? She does cosplay. She's known as a grifter, a hater. Damn, I cannot think of her name. If I go into my YouTube, I have a lot of YouTube tabs open. History. The bald man, he kind of makes fun of her. Not makes fun. Well, yeah, he makes fun of her. He talks about her. At least. I keep kind of thinking of her name, but I keep forgetting it. But anyway, she often talks about her feelings, and it's so repetitive because you're not getting anywhere. You're just telling me how you feel about it, and telling me how you feel about it is not enough. Never mind the female bodybuilder. Never mind all that. Oh, here she is. Jester Bell. I'm just gonna type her name. Jester Bell. See, she does cosplay. She does a bunch of different videos. She's constantly making fun of Disney. All Disney live reaction movies really the audience fault. Zootopia or the best 10 years of what over. She doesn't have anything positive to say about anything. She just complains. All she does on channel is complain. This is apparently I'm feeling so happy now update with Washington. That's apparently her sister. You can see her expression. All she does is complain. She's got one happy moment. Often the thumbnail depicts whether or not they like something or not. Not slop. Okay, that's Frankenstein. That's fair. How can you hate on Frankenstein? But my point is she hated the Predator. She just retreads everything everybody else says, from Nordwardic to The Critical Drinker to Film Threat to everything that everybody else has been saying. She says the same exact thing, and it's just repetitive and old. And Snarky J does it too. They do it because they know that the algorithm will, the algorithm being familiar with that will point to that and suggest your video, since if people are already talking about it. I mean, look, well, she liked Frankenstein, and they all say they have similar interests, but the truth is they're just repeating each other. I'm thankful to you and also my dog. Thanksgiving. You didn't have to make a video about that. And Why the Crow Can Never Be Recreated. You're doing an interview with Bridget. Didn't you already do this video like a year or two ago? Why are you doing it every single year? Why are you doing the same? You're doing the same thing every year. My updated studio tour, the room where I never shut up. You have to showcase your room for views. Does the Avengers still hold up? You know it holds up, but why are you making a video about it? You just want views. Talking about I called Superman a flop, then it proved me wrong. Twice. And now she's going back and retracting what she said. Gen Z was raised by the internet. We're screwed. Yeah, your generation, Snarky J. Exactly your generation. But you're not trying to improve on it. You're still being screwed. Because you don't talk about yourself. SpaceCon? Should Wonder Woman wear pants?
Anyway.
To say, and a lot of that I'm going to save for my review, but to just kind of give you a little bit of a tidbit, here's what I tweeted out. Avatar Fire and Ash feels like the perfect closing chapter for the Sully family and an equally perfect beginning for what's to come next. It's a breathtaking epic that stuns with awe-inspiring beauty through emotional storytelling, spans Pandora in ways that are beautiful.
Let's just go ahead with your little reaction, because I feel like you're getting too much attention just by giving a little piece. Nobody wants a piece of your video.
Oh my god. It's currently Monday, December 1st, 10 a.m. my time, and I am out of my mind excited to see Avatar Fire and
Just go ahead and get into it, please.
we'll be also doing, as well as the premiere is happening tonight. So you're gonna get a lot of different reactions from this movie, and the fact that Disney is showing this 2 weeks early shows massive confidence in Avatar, and specifically James Cameron, which, like, again, like, I've just seen so many people decide to count him out every single time, and the guy just gets it. And I really hope Fire and Ash succeeds. I hope it's a great movie. But I'm out of my mind excited for this. I love this world. I love the 2009 movie. I loved Way of Water. It's one of my favorite movies of this decade. I think it's genuinely one of the best blockbusters ever. And like, it just seems so many people decide to count him out every single time, and the guy just gets it. And I really hope Fire and Ash succeeds. I hope it's a great movie. But I'm out of my mind excited for this. I love this world. I love the 2009 movie. I loved Way of Water. It's one of my favorite movies of this decade. I think it's genuinely one of the best blockbusters ever. And for me, like, Fire and Ash has looked awesome, but I just have this lingering feeling in the back of my head, like, how does he surpass Way of Water, or at least meet it? Because for me, Way of Water is such a testament to its own thing, and truly enough, one of the best blockbusters of all time. So that means Fire and Ash has to literally be one of the best blockbusters ever as well. And I have no doubt that James Cameron can do that and make an even better movie, but like the Way of Water, the way that it explored more of the Na'vi world, Pandora itself, Eywa, and even in general the characters itself, how it brings in so many new characters and you never feel annoyed or honestly like just sidetracked. There's never a boring point in the movie where you're like, oh, can we go back to Jake Sully and Neytiri? No, like focusing in on the kids was such a great thing. And I'm sitting here wondering, can Fire and Ash do that same thing? And I think it can. I really like the trailers just as much as I like the Way of Water trailers, and then when I went and saw Way of Water, it became my new obsession. I ended up seeing that movie 8 times in theaters, 4 times before it even came out. I went to every early screening they had, and then 4 times afterwards. And Fire and Ash, well, now I have a son. It's been 3 years since then. I've gotten engaged, married, and have a son now. I don't know if I'll be able to see it that many times, but I still would want to, and I hope I do, because that's what I want to see. So with that said, you've seen the timestamps down below. My reaction is in this video. I am very excited. So come with me. I'm gonna cut to when I'm heading to the theater, and then we're gonna get ready to see Avatar Fire and Ash. Stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe button, and a full review will drop very soon as well in the next 2 weeks. I think the embargo right now, the review embargo at least, is December 16th, the week of. So reactions now, and then review soon.
I hate it when they have to show them going in and shit.
Everybody, welcome back to a brand new...
Why did you do that, man? You don't have to show yourself going into the theater if you're not going to show anything.
Out of the theater reaction. I just got home. I just got back from watching Avatar Fire and Ash, and as you saw earlier in this video, I had a lot of expectations. This was my most anticipated movie for this year. Everybody, welcome back to a brand new And as you saw earlier in this video, I had a lot of expectations. This was my most anticipated movie for this year. And, well, let's just say this. I don't know if this is my second or third favorite Avatar movie. Yes, I'm saying that. The Way of Water is still my favorite. I can't say much because there is a heavy review embargo up, but I can at least give you guys my out of the theater social media reaction. So this is that. So here's what I tweeted leaving the theater. Avatar Fire and Ash feels like the perfect closing chapter for the Sully family and an equally perfect beginning for what's to come next. It's a breathtaking epic that stuns with awe-inspiring beauty through emotional storytelling and expands Pandora in ways that are beautiful. As a massive fan of this franchise, I walked away still in love. The film is so huge in scope, though, that I actually felt myself wishing it were longer. Just to
hold up a second.
Family and an equally still my favorite. My second or third favorite Avatar movie. Yes, I'm saying that. The Way of Water is still my favorite. I can't say much because there is a heavy review embargo up, but I can at least give you guys my out of the theater social media reaction. So this is that. So here's what I tweeted leaving the theater. Fire and Ash feels like the perfect closing chapter for the Sully family and an equally perfect beginning for what's to come next. It's a breathtaking epic that stuns with awe-inspiring beauty through emotional storytelling and expands Pandora in ways that are beautiful. As a massive fan of this franchise, I walked away still in love. The film is so huge in scope, though, that I actually felt myself wishing it were longer, just to give the Ash clan even richer development. Lots of storylines. That said, though, Zoe and Sam are absolutely phenomenal here. There you have it. I ended up really loving my experience.
I like his shirt, the fact that it's blue and he has Avatar. Okay.
Once again, with the world of Avatar and what James Cameron has crafted here, even if I did feel that there were one too many storylines, which we'll talk more about in my review. As a whole, though, this is very much a part two to Way of Water. You cannot have Way of Water without having Fire and Ash, and you cannot have Fire and Ash without having the Way of Water. It's a yin and yang situation.
Yeah, I already knew that. Thanks. Let's go into somebody else real quick.
This is my out of theater reaction to seeing one of my most anticipated films of the year, and that is James Cameron's third film of the Avatar franchise, Avatar Fire and Ash. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this isn't a review coming out in like 2 weeks. This is just my social media reaction. I can't believe how much I did not like this film. It is almost like I almost feel like I'm in a dream right now. That this isn't real. Is this real? Is this thing on? Structurally, narratively, this film is a recycle of the last one in the worst ways. And I love Way of Water, but this takes all the things that makes Way of Water a little bit short in the narrative and some of the character decisions. It takes all those negative things and makes it the main thing of this film. Jake, Neytiri, I love them. They're kind of reduced to the parents that just want to fight for their family, and they're great at that, right? They're resilient. They love their family. They fight what they love. But then the film's like, we want the kids to be the center of this film, and even the kid that should have been the lead. I don't want to say any character's name because this isn't a review, but the character and the
you got to be careful with an embargo with your social media out of theater reaction that you claim is different from a review, but many people blend them together because you're going to include your 2 cents, your personal opinion in your review anyways. But you got to be careful.
The story this film decides to focus on brings this film down tremendously. And if you saw my review for the second one, you probably know who I'm talking about. Let's just say bad. I'll just leave it at that. Obviously, this film looks good, it sounds good, and I don't want to undermine that. It is the best spectacle you can see all year on the biggest screen. You know, I saw it in 3D and IMAX. It is, the entertainment value is there, but again, it only goes so far. When you don't have a story that can hold on its own, when you're all over the place narratively, when you have focus on characters that are so poorly written and performed in a way that makes it distracting to look at the screen, you get something like this. I have a full review coming out when the embargo lifts, I believe on the 16th of December.
That's a you problem, buddy. You have a problem with it.
I am very appreciative of being able to see this early because I am a big fan of this franchise, but I hate to say it, y'all, as someone that has seen every single James Cameron film, and for the most part, I love all his movies, this is a film that James Cameron completely misses the mark for me on so many levels, but again, we'll talk about that soon. I don't know if I've ever been this disappointed in recent memory. I'm pretty disappointed by this film, but again,
and this is a problem, like, not him being disappointed, but him giving it an out of theater reaction. Because, like I said, I don't like it. I don't like out of theater.
We'll talk about that when the review lifts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It's snowing right now, and this is a perfect symbol of how I feel. I feel cold because I feel like I just died. I'm being dramatic. I'll see you guys soon, but yeah, I'm pretty disappointed by this. This is a pretty bad movie.
Media. Yeah, I'm gonna have to push this because yeah, I shouldn't probably get my hopes up either. Even the best of us fall short with this sin. Getting your hopes up too high. Keep expectations. No. At a decent level. To me, if you have a press and critic screening, if they're not allowed to publish their reviews, you shouldn't be allowed to publish anything, regardless of it being a reaction, a review, anything like that.
This is interesting. You shouldn't be. No one is in the sorry. Change awful, so I'm not surprised. You don't need it's being banned because they want to keep their mouths warm, and I want the mouths to be shut. I want them to shut the fuck up and let this movie just wait 2.5 weeks and then go see it. Then you can do all the talking you want. I will too. Is this thing on? Looks like someone wants to watch a Bradley Cooper film. Saw that a few weeks ago back actually. Everybody wants to talk about the death of Hollywood. It's just catered. It's just catered to negativity. Let's see Latino Slant.
All right, coming out of Avatar. This is the social media reaction. And let me tell you right now, I'm a huge Avatar fan. This is probably my least favorite of the three. It is a little long. However, I still think it's going to be a huge hit for
It is, no question about it.
families, for the Avatar purists. You know, I say it's a little long, but they nailed the ending. Incredible ending. Yeah, I think had they the runtime for me, they could have cut it down. It would have been like just a masterful, like epic tale. It's still pretty. I mean, it's still incredibly epic, incredibly obviously the visuals, but there was almost nothing new. Even the introduction of the new.
Hi everyone, my name is.
Oopsie, my bad.
All right.
Almost nothing new. Transcript. Nothing.
There was almost nothing new. Even the introduction of the new villain. So I'll explain it later in a full review in a couple weeks. But again, I think that this movie's got the holiday calendar behind it, and it's also got all the family characters that you love. So they just go into some wild predicaments, especially with the whole spirituality of the film, which I love, man. You know, I'm a sucker very family friendly, and I love the.
Give me a second. Output.
Characters, but again, I could have used about a half hour less.
Not bad. It's a different one. HDMI. I put yeah.
That is my reaction. We will get into more details in a couple of weeks. And why don't you start hitting those comments and let me know if you guys have any questions, as I'm still processing it, man. And that'll be that. There you go, Fire and Ash.
Hello everyone, the time has finally come. I have seen Avatar Fire and Ash and can share a brief reaction. So, we are 3 films in now, and I still can't get over how magical the Avatar movies are. I wish I had more original phrasing for this first point, but this just applies way too well. Avatar Fire and Ash truly feels like a ride. I just couldn't believe how quickly I was pulled right back into the world of Pandora and swept up in the situation unfolding there all over again. And then, once that happens, once you're fully enveloped in it, there is a noticeable increase in complexity in quite a few aspects of this production. I'll start with the story. Avatar continues to focus on family and community, but Fire and Ash feels like it leans especially heavily into finding one's own place and identity within those types of groups. Really gives the film an effective balance between epic and intimate, and it also adds layers to a number of key characters and a significant amount of world building to the franchise as well. That being said, though, similar to the first 2 films in the franchise, there are some aspects of this story that do wind up feeling maybe a little too familiar and or surface level. Fortunately, though, the pacing of Fire and Ash is impeccable. It flies, the performances are really compelling, and also the magic of this world is just so irresistible that those beats still work well enough. Quite a few characters in this new movie made a very big impression on me, but because this is just a reaction, I'm going to limit myself to 2. This first one has been true since day 1 of Avatar's run. I am just blown away by Zoe Saldana's work in this franchise. There is just this unparalleled intensity that she brings to her work, and it makes every ache Neytiri suffers and every ounce of determination that she exudes especially palpable. And then, as far as new characters go, I was extremely taken by the Ash people, especially Una Chaplin as Varang. The character and costume design for Varang and her people are undeniably striking, and when it comes to Varang herself, thanks to Chaplin, she rocks this ferocity that both ensures that you feel the fear that she sparks in others, while also making it utterly impossible to take your eyes off of her. And now I have hit the obvious point to make in this. Yet again, visually, every single stitch of this movie is absolutely breathtaking. The level of detail in this movie is astounding everywhere, in every aspect. Performance nuances, character movement, fight choreography, costume design, production design. I can truly go on and on. Everything is impeccably designed, and it also has purpose. It really feels like there's countless gems to find in every single frame of this movie. To wind this down now, as many of you well know, I'm obsessed with movie magic. It's why I love my job and I love talking about movies so much, and Avatar's accomplishments in that department continue to be staggering. And the best of all with that, yes, James Cameron and co create a breathtaking digital world, but you really can truly see and feel every ounce of Fire and Ash was crafted with the utmost thought and care by human minds and human hands. Clearly, I was very, very impressed. I cannot wait to hear what you think of Avatar Fire and Ash when the time comes. And just because I know many of you will ask, I will discuss this further soon, but yes, I do believe Avatar Fire and Ash is in good shape this award season.
Look, I'm a Marine. I'm not taking a knife to a gunfight. Or a prayer. So what am I supposed to do? I can't run. I can't fight. Oh, that's right. Awa will provide. Yeah? So where was Awa? Where was Awa when our son...
Jake! I'm in this place where I have nothing. Not my people, not my forest. Even my father's bow is gone. All I have is my faith. This is the Great Mother's plan.
You have this family.
This is the only pure thing in this world. The fire came from the mountain, burnt our forest. My people cried for help. But Awa did not come.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
Protect your sister. Yes, sir. Stay under cover.
Let's go ahead and forward this.
This is my out of
Yeah, we seen your punk ass out of the reaction show.
Renegade Online. Their track for Avatar, Fire and Ash. 110 million opening. 110. Now remember, the first two Avatar films are still to this day, even unadjusted for inflation, two of the 5 biggest grossing films of all time. Okay? Just going raw dollars. Let me show you why I'm a little concerned with this. Okay? Check this out. Avatar, the first one in 2009. If you look right here, opening weekend of 77 million. Nothing awesome. Nothing crazy. Even for 2009.
Bro, I don't care about the open numbers. I don't give a damn. Okay? I just don't care. I don't want to hear it.
What's going on, you guys?
enjoy it?
James
That's all
here
you
with
know.
another real reaction, and today I'm actually watching Avatar Fire and Ash. Am I excited? You can't say that because I was not a fan of the first Avatar after at least I watched it the first time. I felt the story was really weak on rewatch, and then you have Avatar Way of Water, which I kind of wish floated downstream and we didn't have to sit through that. I didn't think it was a very good film at all. It's all spectacle. There's no story here. So I don't know how Fire and Ash is gonna go. But I'm just hoping that we see Prince Zuko. Wait, what? Oh, wrong Avatar. Sorry. So yes, this one's directed by James Cameron again, and stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana. We've got Sigourney Weaver, Kate Winslet, and yeah, Stephen Lang returns as the villain from the first.
This is just one of those guys who wants to be on the negative bandwagon. Just to be one of those guys, because he wants to be one of those guys to hate it. It's not his cup of tea. It does have a story. What do you mean it has no story? Tell me how it doesn't have a story. Just a story that you don't get. Like maybe a story that you're familiar with. Maybe you're too familiar with it. It's a story regardless.
There's 2 movies. That the dude doesn't die. But here's the thing. I'm gonna go with an open mind. I'll see if I like the third one more than I like Way of Water. But at this point, I'm like a little over the franchise. But I'm seeing it in Dolby 3D, so I'm curious to see what happens.
He's not curious. He just wants to see if he's right or wrong. Right or not. He's already primed. He's already talked himself into not liking it.
But y'all, before we even get into my reaction, if it is your
and don't do that. Keep an open mind.
First time here at the channel, hit the big.
If you're gonna do out of theater reactions in any sense, or reviews for that matter, and by the way, you're being allowed to do this, and you shouldn't be. You should not be. Give an honest. Honest, open mind when you go see the movie. Just be honest about it. Don't be a douche.
Red button below. Subscribe to the channel. Tap on that bell and let me know. Are you excited for Avatar Way of? Oh, sorry, Avatar Fire and Ash. I can't keep up. Oh Lord. Okay, let's get started. The movie's gonna start in just a little bit. I gotta run into the theater, so I will catch you guys in just a little bit. Giving my theater reaction for Avatar Fire and Ash, which is theaters, I think, this weekend. I'll figure that out.
The movie actually comes out December 19th, and yes, this is future James speaking. Oh shoot, okay, I gotta run to the movie. For real now. Alright you guys, so I just got out of Avatar Fire and Ash, and
I'm all excited. I want to do like this in front of the camera. I want you to see my hand.
yes, I'm recording this in the parking garage, and I have to stand up because I'm tired, right? 3 hours and 13 minutes later, here we are. James Cameron's latest. I can't get into too much because the review embargo is next week, if I'm not mistaken, but I can give you my out-of-theater reaction, and let me tell y'all something. Visually, this is a masterpiece. Like, this movie looks so good.
They're always going to say it's a visual masterpiece.
In 3D. It is just remarkable. Yes, did the 3D glasses hurt me? Sure, because I was wearing 2 pairs of glasses. Come on. However, I will say, Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington.
Not one but two.
Steal the show. I mean, Zoe Saldana is amazing regardless, and everything I see her in, and in these movies, she just continues to be the standout. However, with that being said, I was falling asleep in the middle of this movie. I'm so sorry, guys. The story.
Get coffee, man. Take a Starbucks in there with you. I'm pretty sure movie theaters will allow it.
Is just, it feels recycled yet again, and I didn't love exactly how they ended the film. Yes, the third act spectacle is cool and all, but when they end the actual movie, I'm thinking, what are we doing again? This is the same thing we got in Way of Water. It feels like the same sort of script again, just with the Ash people. And was that a cool addition? Sort of, but again, I was just not feeling the story too much. And when you get past the visual spectacle, you find out that the story is just meh. I'll be honest. Yeah, I liked it more than Way of Water. So I do like Fire and Ash more than Way of Water, but that's not saying much because the bar is kind of down here for me with these.
That's because, like I said, you primed yourself into not liking it before, so you're not going to be impressed. You already talked yourself out of liking it, so you're not giving me any new information. You already didn't want to like it. Why did you waste your time?
Movies. So yeah, it didn't blow my socks off. If you love the first 2, you're gonna enjoy Fire and Ash a whole lot. Some critics. Friends of mine came out of the movie and they were like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal, but they also like the first 2 movies a whole lot, and I just don't. So
then why did you see it?
Avatar Fire and Ash, can't even give it a rating yet because I'm
You mind not talking in the movie bar? If you don't like the movie, leave. Not. Oh, yeah. Even though sorry, I know I take a while on a first. I take a while.
I'm under embargo, but what I can tell you is that I liked it a little bit better than Way of Water, but I'm still feeling like the story is just very much in the middle. I'm just like whatever on it. So, yeah, I didn't really love this movie too much, but it looked cool. So there you have it, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. I need to get in the car because it's currently like 10 something, and a car's coming behind me. It might be James Cameron. If it is,
You know goddamn well it's not James Cameron. Come on.
at least you guys will have liked and subscribed to the channel. So, alrighty, y'all. Well, again, God bless you guys. Thanks so
I don't give a fuck about the clock.
much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in this car now. I'm tired.
Bitch, you're not tired. You shouldn't have seen the movie if you didn't like it. You just saw 3 hours and 16 minutes. Why the fuck would you waste your time? If you're tired, don't watch it. Simple as that. They should stop giving these people access to world premiere and out of theater reactions. I'm gonna push Hollywood to not let these people see movies if they're gonna give out of theater reactions. Have them sign an NDA. You should not be allowed to give an out of theater reaction if you sign an NDA. So how did you see it? As well. It's almost like a channel that covers movies and TV shows and cover a wide variety of content. Mm. Mm. Yeah, of course, because we know from the last film he was dead. Mm. It's not sweet and generous, he's an asshole.
Anyway, I don't care about the projections. I don't care about the projections. I don't. Oh, that's right. Anyway, let's go back.
All right, we just got home from watching Avatar Fire and Ash. Visually, absolutely stunning, no question about it. That's kind of already expected.
Please stop
but I gotta
doing
say,
that.
I don't know if it's because time's passed or what, but I felt like the effects and everything looked even better.
Yeah, I
in
have
this
to
one.
admit, there were some moments where I'm like, wow, that looks so real. And then when you take that and add it with some of the action scenes that this movie has, it is like mind-blowing.
Yeah, when the
If everybody
action is
mentions
there,
it,
it
of
is
course it's what you're
extremely action-packed,
want
where to the
something
point I
else.
wanted to kind of get up and be like, yeah, let's go. I also really like the new character that they introduced, played by Una Chaplin, Varang. She is fantastic.
Please don't
So
stop
much
there.
fun
Yeah,
to watch on screen, and I actually wanted to see a little bit more from her.
Yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more from her too, but I feel that's also kind of where the movie does kind of have a little bit of hiccups, is with the characters and with the storyline. I do feel like I've seen a lot of this story already.
Yeah, we'll
Same thing with the first and second one. No shit. Don't mention that.
get into that a little bit more with our full review, which is to come later. This is just our quick out of the theater social reaction. Yeah, the story at times felt repetitive, something that we've seen previously already. And then there was a part, it made the pacing really choppy, where they decided to kind of go away from the main storyline and explore this other story arc. And I get it, they're trying to tell other stories, but it ultimately felt like a side quest rather than being kind of a part of the whole package. Even if they brought it back at the end, the payoff, it just wasn't there. But other than that, I was still really entertained through and
skip. Fuck you, YouTube. How about that?
The first reviews have come out for James Cameron's Avatar 3, and so far it's been called another good film in the saga, but with some retreading that might hold it back a bit. There have been lots of reactions following the world premiere, and I'm going to be sharing them and my reaction to them in this video. Before I get into the reviews and reactions though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my upcoming content for Avatar 3 during its release, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's discuss the first reviews and reactions for Avatar Fire and Ash. So the first reactions for Avatar 3 have hit social media, and for the most part they fall in line with a lot of the reviews for the previous films, being mostly positive and saying that if you enjoyed the previous two, you'll probably like this one. Courtney Howard praised the film, writing that it reminds us what movie theatres were built for. She said, 3 films in, James Cameron still has the sauce, making the epic spectacular feel emotionally impactful. It's a glorious saga, bold, brilliant and awesome in every way. This is what movie theatres were built for. Fellow critic Sean Tajipur said similar things, saying that Cameron continues to push boundaries with every frame. I may not be the biggest Avatar superfan, but Avatar Fire and Ash proves once again that Cameron can and will always deliver the ultimate cinematic spectacle, pushing visuals and emotion to new heights and redefining what a true blockbuster feels like. It's bold, immersive, unforgettable and driven by sheer ambition. Collider's Perry Nemerov also wrote of the film, 3 films in and I still can't get over how magical the Avatar movies are. Wish I had more original phrasing, but this applies too well. Fire and Ash truly feels like a ride. I couldn't believe how quickly I was pulled back into the world of Pandora and swept up in the situation. And once that happens, there's a noticeable increase in complexity in quite a few aspects of the production. Dempsey Pillett said, happy to report Avatar Fire and Ash is the best film of the franchise so far. Jaw-dropping visuals aside, it boasts some of the best action of Cameron's career and one of the best movie villains in years. And that is Una Chaplin's Varang. She and Stephen Lang's chemistry set the film ablaze. Ryan McQuaid also added, James Cameron has raised the bar again with Avatar Fire and Ash, a darker installment than the previous two, but packs an emotional punch like few other blockbuster filmmakers can. Visually stunning, logically insane, bold in almost every way. It's a mesmerizing sci-fi war spectacle. Jermaine Lucier further wrote that Fire and Ash is so wildly epic, ambitious, and audacious in every single way that you can't help but forgive that it has some noticeable flaws. It grabs you and sweeps you up in this snowball of emotion, action, and spectacle as only James Cameron can deliver. Shoya Chawla added, Avatar Fire and Ash is an emotionally powerful, terrifically directed, and visually incredible movie with some of the most compelling storytelling and action of the series yet, building on the characters old and new, and the world in fascinating ways. Molly Freeman says, Fire and Ash is visually stunning, and it has a better spectacle to story balance than previous films in the series, but some of the story choices are bizarre. There are some nice character moments like Una Chaplin's Farang, who is genuinely scary, which is cool. It's overall a fun time. And finally, Nick Van Dimfer said, with mesmerising visuals and increased depth in its storytelling, Fire and Ash is the most complete film of the franchise. The world has been built and now the focus has turned to the emotional investment in these characters. For him, it's a welcome change. Coming now to some of the more mixed reviews, we get a sense that nearly all of these reviewers still really enjoyed the film, but they just found it to be a bit repetitive in its story beats and that it took a while to get going, critiquing the overall runtime. Eric Hardman said, I'm more mixed on Avatar 3 than I was hoping to be. It's a visual all-timer with pitch-perfect staging that often stumbles through character arc retreads and rehashed plot points. It's more violent and thematic than the others, which is its greatest strength. But I wish I'd loved it. Film writer Michael Lee wrote that the story left a bit to be desired, but praised the visuals and action as out of this world. He wrote, Fire and Ash is huge on visual spectacle, especially in 3D. Deeper exploration of Pandora and new tribes allows for immense world building. Story may be lacking, but this pushes technical boundaries in unimaginable ways. Sean Chandler adds, Avatar Fire and Ash isn't better or worse than the previous two. Visually stunning with big sweeping emotions and a massive third act that's satisfying, but also a story which feels familiar. If you like the first two, then you'll like this one. If you're skeptical, then this won't change your mind. Jacob Colness further said, Avatar Fire and Ash is an overwhelming and exhausting amount of movie that may test the patience of its audience, but the cinematic wow factor is still undeniable. Breathtaking, explosive sequences that remind you nobody does blockbuster filmmaking better. Gregory Newson said, Avatar Fire and Ash rehashes The Way of Water, but better. Club-footed story, technically great, dialogue atrocious, politically the same decolonial, anti-military stab, but also a technical triumph. Sigourney Weaver as 16 continues to be strange, it's very fun and propulsive, but don't expect any more than that. Mike Ryan also said, I truly love that these movies exist and there's nothing else like it, even though a couple of beats were repeated from the previous film. Whatever, for over 3 hours, I was on a different planet. Una Chaplin is demonic as Farang. Tessa Smith further added that it's gorgeous to look at and certainly has its moments, but it falls into the same trap of repetition as the previous films. Lots of setup for little payoff, but at least we get some great action sequences. Farang is a fun new addition, and also it's far too long. And finally, 3C Films wrote, James Cameron once again delivers a remarkable visual feast. The Ash people are a scene-stealing presence. Una Chaplin's dynamic with Quaritch was a highlight. I will say that The Way of Water spoiled us with so much new stuff that this one feels slightly repetitive with little new. So based on those reviews, what is the general consensus? Well, to be honest, it seems very similar to the reviews we got with the previous two films. Both of those were mostly positive in the 70s rating on most critic sites and had mixed reviews like this. You know that I personally love the first two entries, especially the first one, and I'm really excited to see what Cameron will do with the story this time around, especially after what he's been saying in multiple interviews. I will say though that the retreading aspect that a lot of the reactions seem to be communicating is the one aspect that I'm a bit worried about. And after Cameron saying that it would take some big turns narratively, that does leave me a bit nervous going into it. Still, the aspects a lot of people love about Avatar seem to be working here once again, and their thoughts towards the new elements and characters like Farang and the Ash people look to be going down well with those who've seen it. So as a whole, it's still pretty damn positive. But they were the first reviews for James Cameron's Avatar Fire and Ash. Of course, everyone's individual reaction is the most important, and these early reviews shouldn't really change that. But with all of these reactions coming out, it does sound quite consistent across the board, in that to them, the film is another entertaining installment, but one that does repeat a lot of similar beats to what came before. I myself couldn't be more excited to see the film, and I hope I find a lot that's new with it. And hopefully most fans will also enjoy it when they get a chance to see it too. I will be covering the film in depth with breakdowns and extended video essays, so make sure to keep an eye out for whenever I post. But let me know down below in the comments section what you personally think towards the early reviews and reactions, alongside whether it gets you hyped or worried for the release of the film in the next few weeks. For much more videos and news on James Cameron's Avatar saga, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.
There are two types of people who should avoid taking gabapentin for neuropathy. Anyone who wants to keep both legs healthy. There are two types of people who should avoid taking gabapentin for neuropathy. Anyone who wants to keep both legs healthy. Anyone.
Candace Owen claims the map.
Wait for yourself. Hide that, please. I'm gonna make sure I copy that URL and include that in the link. Yeah, we say that. I know we say that the reviews are the same, but they're really not. So we can stop bullshitting.
Since you filmed this movie so long ago, what was it like watching it for the first time? Were there some things you'd forgotten about?
Yeah, and look, it's interesting. We started it in 2017, but Jim has a certain way, and the way we shoot it has a certain style that we do a big block, but then he'll come up with another great creative idea and he'll invite us back in. So you're kind of connected to it even though it's been such a long time. So it wasn't a massive surprise seeing the whole thing as a whole. It was an emotional roller coaster, but I knew kind of a lot more about the story and where it was going.
James Cameron has said recently in interviews this could be the last Avatar movie, depending on how the film does. Do you think it will be, and how much have you filmed of movie 4?
Look, I think Jim's right. You're after a movie that your hope is that it connects, and it's very nerve-wracking when you hand a movie over. And we'll see. Like, you know, this movie, Jake Sully said at the end of Avatar 2, this is where we make our stand. So I think we know what's coming. To me, this was always the final battle, the final showdown. Yeah.
So you think this might be it?
Well, I know Jim has ideas for where the saga continues, but I also know that he's kind of rounded off these two movies. They were one movie when he first wrote it, and I think his intention was to finish this with everything he's got, and then see how he goes.
Well, I mean, this movie, I saw it last night, and it feels like it really does take the franchise to another level in terms of action. There's so many battle sequences. How do you feel like it elevates the Avatar franchise?
I think the whole point of this saga was to keep increasing not only the world and what we see of Pandora, but how deep these characters can go and how complex it can go. Look, it started off a young kid in a wheelchair falling in love with a girl. The natural step was to give them a family, and in the third one we've challenged that family dynamic. So it keeps getting bigger and bolder like any Jim Cameron movie.
What is up, everybody? I just got out of Avatar, Fire, and Ash. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year, probably like a lot of you. The review embargo has not lifted yet, so I really can't say much here, but I did want to just come out here really quick and give you guys a quick social reaction, just my initial thoughts on this film. And honestly, like I just said, this was one of my most anticipated. I absolutely love what James Cameron has done in this franchise, and this was the first miss that the franchise has had. There's really not much else I can say besides that. It's just one of those things where in order for...
Skip. No, we're not doing that Latinos thing. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. Let's go to Zoe said.
Last time we saw you at Premiere Red Carpet, you created this adorable moment with your boys. So tonight, who are you here with to celebrate?
I'm here with my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece and some of my friends, my reps. I'm here with everybody, every Avatar fan, and the whole Avatar crew is here. So you know, we are definitely among family.
Speaking of, we saw you getting down with the Lioness cast to So Supa's Don't Hide. I have two questions. One, where was Nicole Kidman for this dance break? And it also, was that kind of the vibe in between takes here in Avatar, Fire, and Ash too? That kind of fun?
Yes, we were always having fun, and I know that, I mean, you have to after you know, you spend so much time together making something so special. It's just it's a very natural thing to just, I don't know, grow attached and connect, right? So I'm happy. I'm happy when I have the opportunity to do that with the cast and crew of every production, and the Lioness crew is just so special. I mean, we're coming back for a third season. Nicole was not there for that one, but she's always there to spread love and a lot of cheer and raise the bar for all of us. And because she's such a pro at everything. But yeah.
As we await, hopefully, Avatar 4 and Avatar 5, I mean, are you prepared to just return to Pandora for years to come?
Every time. Yes.
Right. Anytime Jim calls, you're like, I will do that.
Yes, and as long as the fans keep connecting to this and they keep wanting it to come back, then we will continue to do that. Obviously with the support of Disney.
Exactly. You know, obviously you're no stranger to motion capture. You've worn dots on your face in your performances before. What's behind the scenes ritual that you can share about how you kind of prepare?
I don't really, you know, it's not really that different from the way that I prepare for everything else. Sure. I wake up very early. If my pickup is 6:30, I'll wake up at 4:30. I'll work out because I have to physically exercise all of the emotions that we're going to be, you know, sort of tackling. And I get to set. I do my dots, my makeup. I ROM. I do everything, and then I look at my notes. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
The fuck out of my face.
Look, every time you put out a film, your mind racks up all the potential negatives, all the forces against you, right?
With the release of Avatar, Fire and Ash, just weeks away, director James Cameron admitted that he's nervous about the film's box office prospects. After the first Avatar made $2.9 billion at the box office in 2009, James shot the follow-ups, plural, the second and third film, at the same time. So it's hard for him to really, you know, decipher how much each sequel costs to make.
It is one metric ton of money, which means that we have to make 2 metric tons of money.
Yes.
To make a profit.
But not really, James. If we're talking just Disney, making back the money that they put into Avatar 2 and 3.
Stop talking about Disney in an Avatar film.
Avatar: The Way of Water came out in 2022 and made $2.3 billion at the box office. I don't know how much it cost to make those two movies, but let's say it was $500 million, $600 million.
Once again,
that's still
don't
profit.
care about
$1.7 billion. You could not release Avatar: Fire and Ash, and yeah, Disney still made a profit of $1.7 billion on their investment.
I have no doubt in my mind that this movie will make money. Mm-hmm. The question is, does it make enough money to justify doing it again?
Yeah, so that's a different conversation. If Avatar: Fire and Ash ends up making a lot less than The Way of Water, and it's a terrible movie, then yeah, Disney might, reassess investing another, $500 million in making...
Fuck Disney.
Avatar 4 and 5, because yeah, they might be a little more nervous about making, a return on it. Those two movies have already been scheduled for release.
Don't nervous about everything. Look at Marvel.
Released in 2029 and 2031. And James might be regretting the decision of announcing Avatar 4 and 5 already, because he thinks that audiences just might see this, Fire and Ash, as another Avatar movie.
sequelitis. People tend to dismiss sequels unless it's the third Lord of the Rings film and you want to see what happens to everybody, which in my mind this is the culmination of a story arc, but that may not be how the public sees it.
I mean, audiences liked Avatar: The Way of Water. They gave it an A on CinemaScore, and it's at 92% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a Best Picture nomination. She says, well, like movies, you have to assume that people would be interested in seeing another installment, especially because The Way of Water ended setting up a big battle.
I can't save my family by running. This is where we make our stand.
Like James said, yeah, I guess as a director, you think of the worst possible scenario, that no one's going to come, no one's going to show up. But yeah, come on, James.
If this is where it ends, cool. I've been in Avatar land for 20 years, actually 30 years, because I wrote it in 95, right? But I wasn't working continuously on it for those first 10 years. There was a brief flurry of interest in 95, and then everybody said, you're out of your mind, and I shelved it for 10 years, and then we got serious in 2005.
But if by some freak scenario, the Fire and Ash bombs at the box office,
and we will find another way.
James still has a way of getting his planned story for Avatar 4 and 5 out there.
And I'll write a book.
I don't think Fire and Ash will make as much as The Way of Water, just because, at this point, you're just working with the audience that you have. And so, you think, is everybody going to go that saw The Way of Water? No, probably not. You're not going to get new viewers at this point. So, likely it's going to make a little bit less.
If there's something you can do, then you must do it.
And when ticket pre-sales started last week, they weren't as strong as The Way of Water for the first 24 hours. But it's still on track to open with like $100 million. And once again, The Way of Water made $2.3 billion. Even if, by some amazing scenario, that Fire and Ash, when he makes half of that, it still makes $1.1 billion. Like in no scenario is this movie not going to make a
2 metric tons of money.
And remember, Disney also opened Avatar Land in 2017, so another Avatar movie in 2029 and another one in 2031. Helps keep that attraction current and relevant and attracts people to the parks. So it goes beyond just the theatrical gross. So, James, you're making Avatar 4 and 5. You made your digital bed. Now you got to lay in
Elevator type thing.
What do you think? Is there any reason to be concerned with Fire and Ash's prospects at the box office?
We talked a little bit about Avatar's box office and how, it's not tracking as much as Way of Water, which I don't think should be surprising considering such a big gap between Avatar and Avatar 2. But James Cameron's confident Avatar Fire and Ash will make money, but says he'll stop making more films if it flops. I've been in Avatar land for 20 years. If this is where it ends, cool. It cost a fuck ton to make, and it needs to make 2 fuck tons to be profitable.
It was a miracle.
I wonder what the budget is for that. I think they're all tied together, though. That's what I think. I think when he got the budget for 2 and 3, I think it was all kind of tied in together.
I think that a lot of the money was front-loaded in 2 because a lot of the cost of developing all the technology to film it that way. I think that's why Way of Water was extraordinarily expensive. But I'm sure this one's expensive, too. The visual effects and all that stuff.
I want to be in
But remember, 3 years ago when Way of Water came out, James Cameron said, it needs to be like the biggest movie in history to make a profit. Correct. And so we were all like, holy fuck. Like, you tell me this thing needs to make $3 billion?
Correct.
Which, was ridiculous. And then he did come out and clarify. He's like, I might have been a little, facetious. It actually needs to be, the 12th biggest movie of all time to make money. Which did make it reasonable for Way of Water, yeah.
Oh, you can get the fuck out.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, you can do anything.
I think this thing will do numbers. I think it'll do huge numbers. Well, we've all said that. It'll probably hit $1 billion. If it doesn't hit $1 billion, that's a failure.
Oh, no, I mean, I think that this one, we have very little to go off in terms of projections and what it's going to do internationally and all that stuff. But I think that Fire and Ash probably it comes in that 1.7 billion area.
You are both.
Which should be a big drop off. Way of Water was 2.3 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we see 1.7, something like that for this movie.
Yeah.
And depending on how much it'll cost to make those last couple, that may...
officially,
who knows? I don't know what this fucking costs, other than James Cameron saying a fuck ton.
Yeah.
And it needs to make 2 fuck tons to be profitable. So whatever that means.
he also said in the same interview that Bob Iger just watched the film already and said, it's a good film. Oh, there it is right there. It's good. You're good. No problem. I don't have a problem with it. Let's go.
Yeah, this was talking about when he watched a screening for it. Like when he checked on the progress. James Cameron on Bob Iger's notes for Avatar Fire and Ash. He's interesting. He doesn't weigh in till something for me to show. His comment when we watch it for the first time, even though it was at 3 hours and 23 minutes, not including credits at that point, so it's gotten about 18 minutes shorter since then. He said, yeah, I know you're going to keep chopping away at it, but it's magnificent. He basically said, I love this film. It was interesting because there were other heads on the Zoom call that were bringing up notes, and he said, yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. And he basically shot them down on their notes, and I was like, okay, we're done here. Yeah, so Bob Iger was like, you know what?
Of the damp
no fucking notes. Let James Cameron cook is what he's saying
let
for
him do his
Avatar.
thing.
Which, saying let James Cameron cook 2 decades ago feels very different than saying let James Cameron cook now.
In the depth.
But still.
I say it's kind of weird. Like you make a film and then it's like, all right, well, we got our professional talking heads are all going to give you notes on what you need to change in your film. And Bob Iger overrides them all. Just said, nah, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. I know what people want to see.
Wow, it's
And
really
I'm
not a good sign to be.
Do we think that Bob Iger is the best judge of what's a good movie or not? I don't know. I don't know if we can say that at this point in time. I'm sure from a director's point of view, you like that attitude. You like the idea that you've got somebody say, no, just let this guy, he knows this world, he's done all this, he's had one that made $3 billion, another one that made $2.3 billion.
The other day,
let him do
an
his
absolute
thing.
bombshell drop that I was not expecting.
I'm sure from
at
a
all.
director's standpoint
Taylor
that feels
Sheridan.
good, but I'm sure the people that are shelling out the hundreds of millions of dollars to make these Avatar movies might be a little bit more concerned. Financial guys, you know.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, the numbers, they're not as big as the second one, which is, I think, expected because the second one was, 13-year hiatus? Was it like 13 years from the first one? And then, of course, the movie theaters, the movies just ain't doing well in the theaters these days, but it's still on track to do pretty well.
Well, you got to remember, 100. So right now it's saying 100 to 130.
Let's just watch something.
You filmed this movie so long ago. What was it like watching for the first time? Were there some things you'd forgotten about?
Oh, there were tons of things that I forgot about, which kind of was cool because I got to watch it like the fan I am, because I'm a huge fan of Avatar, but also like really feel it all for the first time.
Oh my god.
I love.
Getting low on memory, I see. Okay. Yeah, let's get up for one of these. Let's get up some of these. Action. 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 I'm just gonna refresh it. Trying to get off some of these.
Since you filmed this movie.
Oh god.
You filmed this movie so long ago. What was it like watching for the first time? Were there some
It's working now, thank God.
things you'd forgotten about?
Oh, there were tons of things that I forgot about, which kind of was cool because I got to watch it like the fan I am, because I'm a huge fan of Avatar, but also like really feel it all for the first time.
As Chris Gore had said before, the cast is contractually required to say such things. Such positive things. But yeah, okay, you're a fan. Okay, that's fine. That's cool.
I think even if I remembered the plot, it would be impossible not to, because I'm just such a softie, and also because this movie is so impactful emotionally, action-wise, just like the whole epic visceral factor.
How does this movie expand the world of Pandora that we've seen before?
Well, we meet new clans, we meet the Wind Traders and the Ash. The Ash you do not want to cross paths with, but the Wind Traders are pretty cool. And we meet new characters, like Una plays Varong, our new villain. She is so cool and so terrifying. And we also see different parts of Pandora, like where the Ash live and their whole culture, or even how the Wind Traders travel.
Having worked with James Cameron when you were so young, what's the best note he ever gave you?
Wow. Well, I remember different moments where, I guess I should preface by saying Jim is a very collaborative director. He likes to build on the character with the actor and really experiment and be in the moment together, and he really, really loves to create that nurturing environment for the actors. So moments where he'd say, let's try this in this scene for Took, and I'd be like, dang, I don't really think Took would do that, just because I was little and unfiltered. But he'd be like, okay, let me see what you got. Let's roll, and I want to see what your take on it and how you understand Took. And we'd go from there. Like, oftentimes, you know, we could just bounce ideas off of each other, and I loved that he taught me to trust your creative voice, because that's what he does. He never gives up. All of the projects he's done, he's had to pioneer his way through it. I mean, even going down to the Mariana Trench, not just movies.
I love that. And lately, James has been saying that this could be the last Avatar movie, depending on how it does. Have you filmed anything for movie 4?
We have. There's a big time jump in movie 4, so we filmed like little flashback or before the time jump stuff. And oh my gosh, movie 4 and 5 are so epic, and they just go to the next level, and it feels like Avatar 2 and 3, we've just started to build these characters and introduce them and this world and all these things. There's so much digger to deep, and I just hope we get to do that. Especially I hope I get to continue to grow with my character and to see my Avatar family, because they're the coolest people.
Definitely. Have you read the scripts for 4 and 5 completely?
I've gotten a lot of teases about my character and her journey, about the whole script, and Jack got to read it one day when he had time, so he's giving me the inside scoop per se.
That's amazing. It was so great talking to you. Congratulations on this movie and with everything you have coming up.
I hope you enjoy it tonight, because I know I will, even though it's the second time.
Good, thank you very much.
What has this crazy journey been like for you?
Well, look, I mean, we're coming up on 20 years of working in the Avatar universe. I had 2 years off for good behavior to go do an expedition to dive to the deepest place on the planet. But coming back into it with our cast, or what we call our Avatar family. So obviously there's the family you see on the screen, but there's the family behind the scenes that we've worked together for so long. And it's just such a joy to work with people that you love and respect, and they trust me as a director. I trust them as actors. It's kind of a sacred bond. It's an interesting thing. We've been doing this for a while, and I'm very proud of their work on this film. You haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see a depth of emotion and of heartbreak, heart-wrenching heartbreak in this movie like you haven't seen since Titanic, and I'm serious about that.
Get some tissues and put them in your bag. I've heard that, Susie. Everybody I've been talking to this evening out of the cast has said, sobbed, cried like a baby. So I have my tissues ready.
But in a good way. The movie is also very hopeful, and it really doubles down on the strength and importance of family. And you see all of the conflict and all the dysfunction and all that. But when the chips are down, the Sullys stick together.
I think it's every emotion, though, because you've got happy tears, you've got sad tears, you've got terrified tears, the whole 9 yards.
I would say that as a filmmaker, I'm proud of the dynamic range of the film that goes from ecstatic and triumphant to defeated and crushed and terrified and everything in between, constantly, for 3 hours straight. So buckle up.
Buckle up, we're in for a ride. Now, the Avatar's, is it $6 billion your movies have made?
Let's see, where are we now? So we made almost 3 with the first one and 2.3 with the second one. This is just now box office growth, right? So yeah, so we're at 5.3.
At this stage, what does success look like to you with this movie coming out? What does success look like?
What happened to her voice?
If people respond to the themes of the film and respond to the emotions of the film, regardless of the box office. You know, as an artist, it's going to do what it's going to do. That's above my pay grade. You know, movies are a bit of a depressed industry right now. We're coming off a terrible year. It started to uptick a little bit with with Wicked for Good and with Zootopia. We're starting to see some glimmers of light at the end of the year. But it's been a rough year, and it's been a rough 5 years since COVID, and people have shifted their habit patterns to streaming a lot. So when they go to a movie theater, when they do make that decision, I think they want a very, very powerful experience, and one that they can count on before they go in. But I think Avatar fulfills, it's like tick-tick, right?
Now, I was so excited to read that you are building a massive studio in Buckinghamshire, which is where I'm from.
That's great, that's great. No, I think my role in that has been greatly exaggerated. I approved of the idea of it, but I'm actually not on the board or part of the company or anything, but I noticed that recently it has been approved, which is a good thing, because we can always use more production space. Of it, but I'm actually not on. Really exaggerated. I think
in Buckinghamshire, which is where I'm from. You are building a massive studio in Buckinghamshire.
I think my role in that has been greatly the board or part of use more production space.
That's my county, so I was going to ask you to hook me up, James. I thought I was moving home.
All right, well, I don't have any plans to shoot there myself in the future, but you never know. I'm unemployed right now, so you never know where it's going to take you.
That makes me happy when he's unemployed. You get him, right? What's it like to get him home for a little bit?
Yeah, it would be really nice, actually. Yeah.
It's like I just got out of jail, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the holidays?
We are going to snuggle in and just be cozy with the family, with the kids. No, they're not kids now; they're young, 20-somethings. But we're pretty tight-knit family, and we look forward to the opportunities to get together.
Lots to celebrate after this, I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Spot on.
So as they say, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Great to see it. So excited.
Good job.
Congratulations on this evening. Lovely to talk to you too.
Thanks very much.
Okay, I'm showing content that is considered belonging to someone else. They always do this shit. They always do this.
So, welcome guys, Avatar.
Track gotta wait for it to load. I guess my
Fire and Ash first reactions are here, like I always do on this channel. I like to go through them just to get an idea of the general vibe, the thoughts, the feelings. It's worthwhile doing. I like doing this. 9 times out of 10, you can kind of, I don't know, pinpoint like a general theme, and that's always interesting to me, I think, anyway. So we're going to dive into this today. Please do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on. Help me grow the channel. That'd be wicked. Thank you so much to all those that actually have, because, yeah, I can't do this without you, obviously. So anyway, first reactions. I've heard it's long. It didn't necessarily need to be that long, and that the action is great. That's my general take home from the most I've seen so far, but we'll have a look at these and get your thoughts as well. Before we do, are you excited for this movie? Are you looking forward to it? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be curious to hear. So, Dempsey Pilot, happy to report Avatar Fire and Ash is the best film of the franchise so far. Now, I've actually heard the opposite. It doesn't necessarily mean that what I heard was right, obviously. Jaw-dropping visuals aside, it boasts some of the best action of Cameron's career. I have heard that. I have heard that. And one of the best movie villains in years. Una Chaplin's Varang. She and Stephen Lang's chemistry set the film ablaze. There you go. Lovely play on words for the fire part there. Love it. Simon Thompson.
No, you don't.
Said, with Avatar Fire and Ash, master storyteller and visionary filmmaker James Cameron again delivers a hyper-real experience that is emotional and exhilarating, repeatedly and exhaustively raising its own bar This is an audacious feast that delivers more than anyone ordered. Jermaine Lucier, Avatar Fire and Ash is so wildly, unfathomably epic, ambitious, and audacious. Is that... No, have we seen that twice now? Huh. Audacious. That's a very unusual word to pick up twice, sorry. Sorry, just... That's odd. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's a weird one. But okay. Audacious in every single way. That's a very, very specific word. Parallel thought exists. It does exist, but that's odd. You can't help but forgive that it has some noticeable flaws. It grabs you and sweeps you up in this snowball of emotion, action, and spectacle, as only James Cameron can deliver. We had this one here. This is quite mixed, actually. I'm more mixed on Avatar Fire and Ash than I was hoping to be. A visual all-timer with pitch-perfect staging that often stumbles through character arc retreads and rehashed plot points, more violent and thematic than the others, which is its greatest strength. Wish I'd loved it. Okay, that's quite a negative one, actually. Yeah, interesting. I heard that this was basically like it's just a child's film. You know, this is a film for children, was what I heard, by and large. Avatar Fire and Ash, an emotionally powerful, terrifically directed, and visually incredible movie with some of the most compelling storytelling and action of the series yet, building on the characters, old and new, and the world in fascinating ways. Loved it. I mean, this movie will make it'll make a minimum of $1 billion. Probably $1.5 billion, maybe $2 billion. Who knows? Who knows? It will be interesting to see how it does overall, though.
3 to 4.
Because I made a video not that long ago. I think it was last week, where I was just discussing the general decline in the box office receipts for the Avatar franchise. Because there has been a big decline. You know, from 1 to 2, there was a noticeable decline. Like it did drop off. From opening weekend in the States to, you know, the worldwide gross. So it will be interesting to see where this one lands, and also what it needs to do to have a sequel greenlit. Because that's the thing, right? You know, how much does this franchise realistically need to make to continue? Because they are a business first and foremost, and I think that'll be fascinating. We had this one here. Avatar Fire and Ash is a staggering achievement of movie making and an all-round phenomenal film. James Cameron raises the stakes. It's bigger, better, and more emotional than ever before. It has gorgeous visuals, thrilling characters, and it's a technical marvel. Loved it. I mean, it is, yeah, no one can argue that it will be a technical marvel. Of course it will be. This one here. Avatar Fire and Ash is the cinematic event of the year. You need to see to believe. James Cameron has delivered a massive visual masterpiece where every frame combusts with creativity and the best VFX ever put to screen. Pandora has never felt more real or emotionally resonant. It's a thunderous cinematic event. The Ash tribe is as mesmerizing as they are terrifying. Alright, well, I'll be intrigued to see how terrifying they are. James Cameron once again reshapes what's possible on screen, unveiling some of the most breathtaking visuals of the decade. I mean, these are well, that would imply that this is better than the first one, because this is it's like a decade-old franchise, but alright.
Not doing it.
While it struggles to juggle all of its characters and feels repetitious, Avatar Fire and Ash is strongest when it's interrogating faith in the face of grief. I adored it whenever it's focused on the conflict with the Ash people. Goes without saying, it's visually superb.
And I sent it on
Sean Chandler says Avatar Fire and Ash isn't better or worse than the previous two. Visually stunning, with big sweeping emotions and a massive third act that's satisfying, but also a story which feels familiar. If you like the first two, you'll like it. If you're skeptical, this won't change your mind. Makes sense. I mean, I thought the first 1 and 2 were basically the same story, but you know.
No, they were not the same story. They were completely different. Involving some of the same stakes, but they were completely different. Obviously, you're not paying attention.
I'm not. I don't like this franchise that much. But
yeah, you don't. Of course you don't. That you should. Another fucking good.
I'm not being nasty. I'm just giving. I'm giving the thoughts.
Yes, you are. Just
and I said it's going to make $1 billion, or maybe $2 billion, whatever. Avatar Fire and Ash, 3 films in, James Cameron still has the sauce, making the epic, spectacular, feel emotionally impactful and glorious saga. Bold, brilliant, awesome in every way. This is what movie theatres were built for.
I don't like it.
Payakan is still my fave, but Varang is the MVP. How do you remember these names, man? I thought a lot of these names were like largely forgettable. Zoom in for you. It's an overwhelming and exhausting amount of movie that may test the patience of its audience. Yeah, it's like 2 hours 45 minutes or something. It's a long time. Which I don't hate long movies. I really like Blade Runner 2049, but yes, that's a long movie. But the cinematic wow factor is still undeniable. Breathtaking, explosive sequences that remind you nobody does blockbuster filmmaking better. There you go. I mean, what else do you say? You know, this movie was going to do well. It is going to do well. I've heard it's more of a kids' movie than anything else. I heard it doesn't really expand much of the sci-fi, and it's much more safe than anything, which I think is a shame. You know, you could do a lot with this world, but apparently they don't. So there you go. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.
You've seen Perry's take. This person just said Avatar 3.
So we got another Avatar coming, and
3, 4, 5. What the fuck one is it?
Yeah, it's the third one. But still, I just came across it. I guess trailers have been floating around for like 3 months.
That's how much you've heard of it.
And this is the first I've got wind of it. And another Avatar.
Some countrified weddings.
Hey, that's what you said. I was like, damn. And you like all this kind of really weird shit.
No, another Avatar?
Hey, that's what you said. I was like, damn. And you told it was going to change my life. I said, I'm already a dick. I don't need to change my life.
Yeah, right?
Bro's got 3 views. He's got 3 views. Look at this. He's got 3 views. Lads, I saw Avatar when it came out. I was impressed by the visuals, but thought it was by the numbers. Much a strong impact on me. Interesting.
And whoever told you that must have got sucked into the messaging of it.
Oh yeah, she was a dumb cow.
Because it was very preachy.
Oh, she probably, yeah, because she's the type. That's when I was working as a manager at the casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I missed it in the theater, and, after I saw it when it came out on video, I kind of wished I'd have seen it in the theater, just for the visuals. It was really visually beautiful. But
don't worry, the pornos weren't anything good to write home about either. I mean, the paint was smearing it. It's just terrible. What was the story? Come on. Yeah.
Where's the story?
I would love an audio commentary in a porno. The actors and the director, something. Give me something that's interesting.
My. You just gotta look up the behind the scenes, because
no, behind the scenes they're just playing grab ass.
But oh my god!
Well, I'm trying to liven this up because it's fucking Avatar. Who gives a shit? James Cameron, whoop-de fucking do. You made Terminator 2 and
everybody. There's a lot of people. I'm not going to argue with him. You got 3 views.
Alien. Terminator 2's a really good movie. Aliens.
It was one of the fucking best movies.
Yeah.
It was really good, man.
Aliens?
Aliens was good too.
The ship and some of the aliens did look bad. There was stuff that looked better when he was doing the special effects for that movie.
Yeah.
It looked better then.
Alright, so this is an out of the theater reaction, except as you can see, I'm not right out of the theater. I'm actually at home in my studio, and that's because my phone crapped out and just corrupted the entire video that I had been shooting. So anyway, Fire and Ash it's non-spoiler, not a review. This is basically just a lot of positive comments, just kind of give you something to think about before I get to my real, full, in-depth review that will come later in the month. Here, James Cameron knocks it out of the park with the visuals. It is stunning to look at, as is expected. I mean, we now not only are visiting again the world of the water, like we did in Way of Water, but now we're meeting new people with ash and fire, or fire and ash, depending on how you'd like to say it. But the characters that we get, the creatures that we see, we're brought into not so much necessarily a lot of new stuff, but we definitely get a few new views into things. This one focuses a lot on family, as is, the rest of the films have done that as well, but this one really dives in even more, and it tackles some emotional themes of what makes family, who do we choose as family, how do we forgive, anything like that. I had a lot of fun with this. I mean, it's 3 hours and like 17, 18 minutes, so it's long. Just know that. But so are the other two movies, so that's okay. I think, if anything, there are some weirdness at the beginning that feels kind of clunky a little bit, where we juxtapose between scenes, and that's like, ooh, that was a little abrupt. But as we go along, the pacing is fairly good and quick. There's opportunities, obviously, to improve on certain areas, but for the majority of this, it did not drag. I did not feel bored. I didn't feel the time. I didn't even need to get up and pee. That's how invested in the film I was. The action is off the charts crazy. It's actually very chaotic at times. There are elements that, when I saw it in 3D, it has a very real feel to it. Like it's jumping off the screen, not in that old school, 3D type of thing. We still have that depth, but it's like literally I'm just looking through a window and viewing the world as it is, except there's giant blue people all over the place who are fighting on flying monsters. It's almost also like you have the motion smoothing turned on the TVs, which you should never have on. But here, it's not distracting. It's more just realistic. And so I was just immersed in that. The last action sequence, I don't know, 40 minutes, something like that. I mean, it just goes and goes and goes. And it doesn't really let up. There is so much going on in front of our eyes that it was maybe a little difficult to focus on, but still very, very fun. Lots and lots of energy, lots of just craziness going on, and still that heart, that the tension that you feel for our characters, that suspense, that longing for them to succeed in whatever it is they're doing, was just, it was a lot of fun. The voice cast, well, actually, they're not just voice cast. I mean, they're actually motion capturing, so they're doing all of the action themselves. They did spectacular as well. I'm curious to see where the next film is going to take this. I really like the new addition of this new tribe that we meet. They're something special, a little crazy, a little unhinged, very feral, mean, and just we finally found somebody, I think, that kind of rivals the humans in terms of antagonists. And so that is an exciting addition to the story. Anyway, if you can see it in 3D, buy your tickets to see it in 3D. That's how I saw it, and it was spectacular. The visuals are just crisp and clean and outstanding, as we have come to expect from an Avatar film. All right, more to come later in the month once the embargo's up, but if you enjoyed this, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.
It's fair to say that I have what some might call a love-hate relationship with AMC Theaters. I hate a lot of the things they do. They do, listen, a lot of really stupid things. Same time, they're still my theater of choice. As much as they make me pull my hair out. You know, it's fair to say that I have what some might call a love-hate relationship with AMC theaters. I hate a lot of the things they do. They do, listen, a lot of really stupid things. Same time, they're still my theater of choice. As much as they make me pull my hair out sometimes, they're still my theater of choice. And I still got a lot of love for that company in my heart because, of course, I spent a number of years working with them, running the online movie stuff or the online video stuff. And so I got kind of go back and forth. Not to mention they have, in my opinion, a completely incompetent CEO. But that's neither here nor there. But I do like to point out when they do something that's really good. Again, I talk about their A-list program. I think is the best in the business. I really do. I think it's the greatest thing movie fans should do and get. But I came across this. I got an email from them the other day announcing this new deal that USA Today calls, well, they're calling it the Popcorn Pass. And here's basically how the Popcorn Pass works. You spend $30, $29.99, $30. And you get attached to, you got to be a Stubbs member, but that's free to become anyway. And I'm an A-list member, so I have that. So you buy this Popcorn Pass. It's good until the end of December 2026. So a little over a year if you buy it today. So you buy it for $30, and what it does is it allows you one time a day to buy a large popcorn at half price. Now, I don't know about your theater where you are, but in my AMC theater that I like to go to, the one in Riverside, the Tyler Galleria, it's $10 for a large popcorn. And call it lack of self-control, call it gluttony, call it whatever you will. I have a Pavlovian response. When I walk into a movie theater, I got to have my popcorn. I often don't even usually eat half of it.
Your butter delivery system.
It's my butter delivery system. I got to have it, so I get it every time. And it's $10 a shot. So, with this Popcorn Pass, it's now effectively going to be $5. That means if I go to just one movie a week, and that's being conservative, but let's say I just go to one movie a week, that's 4 times I'm going to go and get large popcorn, saving $5 each time. I'm spending $30 for the Popcorn Pass. I'm going to save $20 in the first month. By the end of the second month, I'm already in the black. I'm $10 up. I'm overall, if I go to one movie a week for the year, I'm going to be saving like $250. And we all know I'm going to go probably 6, 7, 8 times a month.
Yeah.
So I'm probably looking at this thing alone is probably going to save me $400 by the end of the year. Look, one of the big problems, as I talk about on the show all the time about the movie-going experience, is the cost of concession. I get it. It's how the theaters keep their lights on, all that kind of stuff. But still, it is exorbitantly expensive. For them to offer a program like this, I got to say, I think it's one of the very few consumer-friendly moves that AMC does. Most moves AMC does lately are very, very consumer-unfriendly, which is why I just want to pull my hair about with half the stuff that they do. But this is one of those rare, very consumer-friendly moves. It gets them some upfront money, which is good. And in the long term, it's going to benefit the moviegoer. So listen, I like to give credit where it's due. I think this is a great move. I like it a lot. Rob, I bought it the moment I got the email.
Why not?
As soon as I saw the email, I logged into my AMC app, bought that damn popcorn pass, and I'm looking forward to using it today.
Do they send it to you?
No, it's just attached to your app.
Oh, it is. Oh,
yeah. So as an AMC, I got my phone here. Let me see if I can bring this up. I'm not totally sure I'll be able to.
Ironically, it popped up and got right in the way of something else we're going to talk about today at AMC.
Well, yeah, we're going to discuss that.
Kind of messed up my app.
When I go there, so I open my app, right, and then I click the little scan. There's a little button down here called a span barcode, and it's asking me to buy the pass, but I already did. There, I scanned the barcode, and the very first thing I do when I walk up to a concession stand, as it's starting to load, is they scan this barcode.
Yeah.
So that way I get all my credit for spending money there, because you get points and discounts and whatever. It's just automatically attached to the account.
Yeah, it's in it.
As soon as you buy the popcorn pass, it's just attached. So as soon as I scan my barcode, as I always do, it just automatically applies the discount. And here's the other kicker. This piggybacks on, if you're a Stubbs or A-list member, you get 1 free refill of popcorn per day.
Yep.
And the language is clear. Per day. So when you do what I do every once in a while, which is go do a double feature, instead of having to buy 2 popcorns, I just go and get my half-price popcorn, and then I can refill the bucket for free.
I've had times where I've gone to AMC, and the guy's like, do you just want your refill now? And I'm like, because I was with a group. So I said, because normally I would say no to 2 large popcorns, but I was with a group. I'm like, yeah. So we had 2 large popcorns.
Yeah, so again, listen, I bitch and cry and moan and complain about AMC a lot on this show, always for good reason. But when they do something that I think is pretty sharp and pretty good, I like to give them their flowers. This is a really good move, and I took advantage of it right away. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Hey guys, we are right now in the middle of the holiday season, and this is always the time of year when traditions take center stage. For me, one of the small traditions I've had for myself since I was a teenager is taking at least one night during the Christmas season to just spend completely by myself, to just reflect on the year that was and how I want to improve myself in the year that's coming. The holidays can be joyful, but they can also be stressful, overwhelming, even lonely. So if you're thinking about starting therapy or getting back into it, BetterHelp is a great way to begin. BetterHelp has fully licensed therapists who work under a strict code of conduct, and they do the matching work for you. The way it works is you fill out a short questionnaire. They use over 12 years of experience to match you with someone who fits your goals. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime from their tailored Campia. That's betterhelp.com/Campia. Rob, you heard about this? Good move. Desperation doesn't make that much of a difference. Because, I mean, if somebody goes to the movies 3 or 4 times a year, this doesn't even make sense. But I don't know. How do you see this?
I'm with you. I mean, I think, look, we have talked about making part of the reason that Quentin Tarantino said that it used to be that movies for the everyman. Anybody could go to the movies. It was cheap enough for anybody to go. That's why they were flourished during the Great Depression. Movies have been priced out of the economy of a family of 4 being able to go to see the movies and not worry about it.
At least as often as they used to.
100%. Yeah. And so anything that can be done, especially here, popcorn is where movie theaters obviously are making a lot of their money. That's why the concessions are expensive. To cut down on that, I think it shows that they're thinking about it. But, again, it's a really good move. I think it's a really good move for them. And I think anything that makes the experience... Look, you go with a family of
By the
4.
way, can I just interrupt for 1 second? I don't know if you saw me just look down at my watch. I literally, as we talked about this, I just got this email from AMC that is literally saying, your pass is now ready to go. 50% off has never tasted so good. And it's got the popcorn popping. So, I mean, sorry, it just came in as we're talking.
That's amazing. Look,
please continue.
Look, the one thing I do really appreciate about AMC is when they teamed up with Dolby, and AMC made their Dolby cinemas.
Yeah,
and that was, to me, the thing I care about most in movie theaters is presentation. Give me the best presentation possible. Make sure your projection lamps are not dim. That's what I want most. I want to see bright lamps. And with Dolby Vision screens, they're amazing. Sound is beautiful. But that said, having thoughtful concessions and making it easier. That's why I love Harkins. They do the same thing. They do a lot of great stuff there. But seeing AMC do this, I think is great. I can imagine a lot of other people are going to follow suit, Regal, whatever. This is a great move. And I'll tell you something. I sometimes think to myself, if I don't have enough cash on hand, I don't like to go to the movies if I can't buy as many concessions as I want.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Ann and I...
I mean, I want a beer, I want a Diet Coke, I want a bag of M&M's, and I want popcorn. And if it's not $50, I mean, if I can't get my $50 of concessions...
Dude, I'll tell you, it's like I said, it's a Pavlovian thing. Like, Ann and I went to this dinner, and we had this big dinner, and it was great. And I was stuffed. Didn't matter.
No, I know.
Because we were going to the movie theater right after, so I'm still buying my large popcorn, even though I'm completely stuffed. I just got to have it. And if you're somebody that's as, lacks the willpower to just resist it like me, this is going to save me a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I like anything that does that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? AMC has this new popcorn pass. Yeah, it's $30. But it literally saves you $5 every time you buy a large popcorn. And if you go to the theater anywhere near as much as we do, that's literally going to save you hundreds of dollars every year.
Yeah.
I like it. Good move on their part. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey, guys.
I mean, that's if you really do love popcorn. I don't love popcorn that much. Every now and then I'll get popcorn. Every now and then I will crave it. But I like their Hidden Valley Ranch. That's all. Damn, bro. That's all I really liked about popcorn. It was the Hidden Valley Ranch. I don't like the regular as much. If I do get it, I have to bottle it up. And no, AMC is not any better than Regal. Regal is not better than AMC. They're the same. They have the same. Never been to Harkins. The State of Holly was. He needs to quit. They need to quit talking about Hollywood. They're saying the same shit over and over again. Let's just watch this. Is it not included?
There's going to be a third Avatar movie coming out next month. It's called Avatar Fire and Ash, and I want to talk about why the box office predictions for this movie for the opening weekend in America appear to be lower than the previous two films, despite the fact that everybody rants and raves about these Avatar movies like they're just absolutely perfect, and seemingly, general audiences have no complaints about these movies at all. You go into work, you go into the office, and it's like, did you see Avatar? I saw Avatar over the weekend. Did you go see it? Or what? It's like, there's something wrong with you if you don't watch Avatar and you don't love Avatar.
In Avatar 2009, Toruk, the legendary Last Shadow, was a key symbol representing unity and strength. Jake Sully tamed Toruk to unite the Na'vi.
Toruk Mato.
And lead them against the RDA, earning him the title of Toruk Makto and making him the leader and savior of the Omaticaya clan. However, in the Way of Water, Jake no longer rides Toruk, instead using an Ikran. The film doesn't explain this shift, but the legend offers a possible answer. After the Great Sadness, the defeat of the RDA, Toruk returned to its home, the Hallelujah Mountains. In addition, with Avatar 3 and Avatar 4 on the horizon, Toruk could return, especially if Quaritch learned Avatar 3 and Avatar's home, the answer. After the Great Sadness, the defeat of the RDA, Toruk returned to its home. The film doesn't explain this shift, but the legend offers a possible answer. After the Great Sadness, the defeat of the RDA, Toruk returned to its home, the Hallelujah Mountains.
Yeah, because I think, okay, so the Na'vi have to sync with whatever animal they're riding, right? And I think the mindset, the way, the psychology of Toruk is that he will not let a Na'vi or anybody ride him beyond just one time. Even before Jake rode him, there was this other Navi that wrote him. And Jake was like the second known person to write him. Jake wrote him one time, just like the other person did, because Tariq only lets you write him one time, probably per person, but it has to be significant enough for him to let you do that. And I think Jake surprised him because Tariq doesn't look up. He referenced that. He's the baddest Ikran ever, so why would he ever look up? But that's probably the second time that Tariq has actually been surprised. And it doesn't happen but every now and then. And Tariq's probably thinking, damn, this happened a few years back. Why does this feel familiar? And maybe Jake has the same mindset as that Wado originally did. You got to have like a strong mindset to kind of not control him, but like synchronize with him and temporarily enough, momentarily enough to accomplish the mission. And I think yeah, because you kind of get a feel, like a vibe of how the rider is going to be. And if you're like, hey, yeah, this guy's a leader, I can feel it. I can let him wow at me. It's cool. But somebody else, and I think it has to be, I'm not trying to be gender biased here, but male, because Tariq's a male, and I'm not really sure how that is. But anyway, I'm just thinking that Tariq maybe has in his mind that I will let you rob me once, but that's it. It's not a free for all. It's a one-time pass. Tariq is shown in the Avatar 3 trailer, but so I don't know who rides. I think it's either Loic or Jake himself. So.
In addition, with Avatar 3 and Avatar 4 on the horizon, Toruk could return, especially if Quaritch learns to ride it, posing an internal threat to Na'vi culture. Until then, the last shadow may still soar freely across Pandora, waiting for the next rider. Where did Toruk go?
Okay, so having said that, let me copy this URL. I think I already did it because I like to jump ahead. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay. Making sure I'm not showing content. That's showing. Wait. Okay. Oh, I am. Oh no, my bit was small though. Trailer.
And we will find another.
It could be a flashback.
Your goddess has no dominion.
I'm trying to find a little shot that it had that I saw Tariq. I know I saw Tariq because he's orange. He's orange. Donald Trump about him. Is that it? No, it's not it. Could be a flashback. I hope it's not a flashback. I think they should bring Tariq back.
Another way.
I don't care if you took season.
You're good.
You know they're gonna hate each other, bro. You know they're gonna hate each other. Two bitches are hissing each other. Is that it? I need to find that trailer. Well, that's the official trailer. That's the same one. Yes. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Avatar. So general audiences seem to like it, and I do understand why. It's not my thing. I'm not a fan of these movies. They are CGI showcases. The world building is brilliant. They visually look beautiful. I feel that Avatar movies are perfect for selling televisions. They are ideal for selling televisions. You know when you go into an electrical retailer and you see all the in the TV section, all the televisions are on and they're all playing the same movie. All these different brands and types and sizes of televisions on the wall, and they're all playing the same movie, and they're all playing maybe Avatar, right? They're all playing an Avatar movie. So you walk around, you eventually find a television that's in your price range.
He's going to talk about the high frame rate of television. I've seen it before, Transformers particularly. I've seen it in the electronics section. Yeah. Those TVs, that the difference between the slow frame rate or the regular frame rate and the high frame rate, yeah.
And you remark about how high the pixel count is and how well Avatar looks on this TV. And that's the TV you're going to buy, right? And that to me is what the Avatar films do. They sell audio-visual equipment. They sell televisions. They sell home cinema systems. They sell Dolby Digital and Bose surround sound systems, right? They are a benchmark. They are a visual and audio showcase. They look and sound great. It doesn't matter that the story is basically, very generic, and you've seen it lots of other times. It doesn't matter that the characters are all forgettable. It doesn't matter. The point is, these films to me, when I watched them in the cinema, okay, I watched the first one in the cinema. When I watched that first film, it felt like watching a 3D benchmark for your gaming PC, right? It's like an Avatar film feels to me like you're just running a benchmark, right? That's designed to test your graphic card's performance. That's what it feels like to me. To test the spec of your PC. Except it's not. It's a movie. And look, some people love it. I'm sure many of you have very fond memories of that first film. But everybody says much the same thing about the second one as well. You hardly ever hear complaints from casual cinema goers and just normies out there. They all say the same thing. Avatar is amazing, and then that's it. There doesn't seem to be any further, deeper analysis after that. It's like people are sort of bamboozled by the spectacle of it all. And, for me...
Okay, if I'm going to pick one time out of the year, one fucking time out of the year to be bamboozled by the spectacle, it's going to be with Avatar. Because obviously Transformers is fucked. That's been fucked for years. Never mind Disney or Marvel. No, Wicked, hell no. Never bamboozled. Because the musical, if you make Avatar a musical, then I'm not going to watch it. So don't make Avatar a musical. Just I will go ham on James Cam. Didn't mean to make that rhyme. Don't have to play. Hate the game. Bars. Sorry, Tom Magnus. I just stole your line. My bad. Point is, if I'm gonna be bamboozled by the spectacle, damn every other movie, it's gonna be Avatar.
I just couldn't get past, the pretentiousness of the stories. I didn't like how human beings are depicted in a very negative light as the bad guys. I didn't warm.
He means the white people. The white people.
To the Na'vi, I just didn't like them. I didn't like the fact that the main character became one of them and turned his back on his own people. I found the main character to not be particularly
the white people again
compelling. I didn't find
not the blue people, but the white people.
Any of the characters emotionally engaging. I didn't really care about any of them. I cared more about the human beings than I did about the Na'vi, which is not supposed to be the case. And I found the main bad guy to be very one-dimensional, very arch, very cliched,
very white
and cartoonish. But hey, it's just my opinion. These movies are loved the world over, and surely the proof has got to be in the box office pudding, because they make eye-watering amounts of money.
Just say it.
So what do I know? So I want to take a look at this article from Screen Rant. First Avatar Fire and Ash box office projections revealed. It says, Avatar Fire and Ash's first box office projections have arrived. Expectations are high for the threequel after the first Avatar 2009 made $2.9 billion at the box office and still stands as the highest grossing film of all time, followed by the long-awaited sequel The Way of Water 2022, which grossed $2.3 billion million. Good enough for third all time. It's a strange one that The Way of Water made $600 million less than the first one. I mean, hey, $2.3 billion is still incredibly high. That's not to be snuffed at. That is a massive financial success. But everybody loved the first film, and seemingly everybody I talked to loved the second one much the same. So I don't know why it dropped $600 million. I mean, maybe it's because back in 2009 with the first Avatar film, there hadn't really been anything quite like it in terms of CGI quality and the amount of CGI. It was a visually impressive movie and, like I say, a great showcase. But from 2009 to 2022, there had been plenty of CG-heavy movies and impressive environments in other movies, so perhaps the novelty had worn off a little bit by 2022. The article says now, 3 weeks ahead of its December 19th debut, Avatar Fire and Ash is projected for an opening at around $110 million, with estimates ranging from $100 million to $130 million, according to Deadline. While these early projections are below The Way of Water, which opened at $134 million, they are still seen as strong figures for Fire and Ash. And they are, generally speaking, strong figures. But let's take a look at the first Avatar's box office numbers. This is from Box Office Mojo. Of course, the film made $2.9 billion worldwide from a domestic opening of $77 million. So that's what it made on its opening weekend in the United States. And then it just went stratospheric after that. Way of Water made $2.3 billion. Its domestic opening was $134 million. Now, obviously, you have to adjust for inflation there. But let's take this estimate for $110 million for Avatar Fire and Ash, due out next month. And if we take out $110 million, actually, if we take the $77 million of Avatar 1 from 2009 and adjust that for inflation now, I'm using a US inflation calculator here. That's $116 million today. So Avatar 1 made $77 million, but in today's money, in today's dollars, that's $116 million. So if Fire and Ash... Now, Fire and Ash could make $130 million, it could make $120. As it stands...
Hey everyone, so I just got back from an early screening of Avatar Fire and Ash. This is the third Avatar movie by James Cameron, and I'm just going to share some really quick thoughts about the movie. So I liked it. I've liked the previous Avatar movies. I think they're entertaining. I think they're enjoyable. This movie visually is stunning, and that's been the case with all of these Avatar movies. Like, they look really good, and I think this one is the best looking out of all of them. It's just so visually striking, and I think, you know, the world here looks richer and more detailed, especially with the characters. There's so many details to them, and there were parts of this movie where some of the stuff looked really realistic. Like, it really did. I mean, it's just visually great. This movie's action-packed, like lots of action in this movie. And there are a couple of really thrilling action sequences, especially in the finale. You get some really great, intense action moments. And some of them will have you, like, you know, just on the edge of your seat. It's so good. This movie feels, you know, bigger in scope. Definitely the stakes are higher. Really liked the world building here, you know, as you continue to learn more about Pandora and the new tribes that are introduced and things like that. So I did like that. But, you know, this movie's 3 hours and 15 minutes, and there are times where you feel it. I mean, it starts to sag in places. It probably could have been trimmed down to make it feel like a tighter story. And in terms of the story, you know, just like the previous Avatar movies, the story's fine. Nothing revolutionary here. You know, nothing groundbreaking in terms of the story. I will say, though, there are parts of this movie that feel very familiar. They seem so similar to Avatar: The Way of Water in terms of the story beats. I mean, there was a moment where I thought I was watching Avatar: The Way of Water, because it was just the way certain scenes were set up and the way the story was structured. It was really similar. But you know what? I had a good time with it. Like I said, visually it's amazing. I saw it in Dolby 3D, and it just looks so good, and I enjoyed it. So anyway, I'll have more thoughts about the movie when I do my full review. I'll have that on the channel as soon as I possibly can. So if you're at all interested in all my full thoughts about the movie and breaking down certain things, I definitely recommend that you subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And as always, thank you for watching.
You filmed this movie so long ago. What was it like watching it for the first time? Were there things you'd forgotten about?
Yeah, I suppose it would be a trip down memory lane, except the film itself is just so exciting that you kind of stay in the moment of the movie. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing it again this evening, because it's a lot of movie to take in at one time. But as you say, we did it. It's a while ago that we did it, but I've been involved in it every day in some way since then, even if it's only kind of ruminating on it myself. But we've all been in close contact. There's been a lot of work to be done to bring us to this evening.
What's the best part about playing a villain?
Well, people love villains, because it's good to be bad. You might say that, and so much of the time it's fun to defy people's expectations as well. That they anyone who thinks that Quaritch is sort of a mustache twirling bad guy, I think is in for an awakening. He's a deeply flawed character, but he's also there's a lot of contour to him as well.
James Cameron has recently said that this could be the last Avatar movie, depending on how it does. Do you think it will be?
No, I'm not. No, I don't. I'm first of all, I'm an optimist by nature, but also I just don't. There's so much more saga to tell, and I know how deeply invested Jim Cameron is in this story, in these families that are in this film. So I think there can be a break, but we've done that before. We've taken long breaks. But in the words of a great American, we'll be back.
You're getting old though, buddy.
James Cameron is once again stepping back into the spotlight as critics finally share their early reactions to Avatar: Fire and Ash, the next big chapter in his massive sci-fi franchise. Even though 2025 is coming to an end, Cameron is closing the year with a bang by bringing audiences back to Pandora. And many people want to know whether the franchise still has the power to earn another $1 billion at the box office. The Avatar movies have always been known for changing the game visually, so expectations for this third film were already sky high. Now that members of the press have started screening the movie early, their reactions are beginning to spill out on social media, giving fans the first real hint of whether this movie lives up to the hype. A lot of critics who saw Fire and Ash early are calling it a huge immersive experience, and that seems to be one of the biggest strengths of the film. Screen Rant's Graham Gutman shared that the movie definitely feels like the middle chapter of the story Cameron is building, meaning it clearly connects the larger storyline between the previous movie and whatever comes next. Even so, he also said the film is overwhelmingly immersive. That is exactly the kind of compliment Avatar fans love to hear, because Cameron is known for building gigantic and visually rich worlds that take audiences out of reality for 3 hours straight. Another critic from Screen Rant, Molly Freeman, talked about how visually stunning the movie is. She explained that the film's balance between spectacle and storytelling is better this time compared to some earlier movies in the franchise, where fans often debated whether the visuals overshadowed the story. However, she mentioned that some of the story decisions feel strange or bizarre, hinting that viewers might find certain plot points surprising or confusing. But even with those comments, she still noted that the overall package is incredibly impressive, especially when you look at the visuals. Tashiana Hollander from Screen Rant added that Fire and Ash is a massive cinematic experience, even though she personally felt the film was long. Avatar movies are famous for their lengthy runtimes and deep world building, so her comment is not shocking, but she still made it clear that despite being long, the film delivers something unforgettable on the big screen. Her description makes it sound like the movie is the kind of film that truly needs to be seen in a theater rather than at home. Screen Rant's Gregory Nussin had a slightly more...
People are just reading and rereading the same Written reviews.
Or mixed reaction. He said the movie feels like it rehashes Way of Water, but better, which suggests that it repeats themes or moments from the second movie, but in a stronger or more effective way. He also pointed out that the story feels club-footed, meaning it may not flow smoothly in every part. While he praised the technical side of the movie, he criticized the dialogue and mentioned that the film continues the franchise's familiar political themes about colonialism and the military. These topics have always been a key part of the Avatar series, so it seems like Cameron didn't hold back from exploring those ideas again. Variety's Jazz 10K gave one of the most glowing reviews, calling Avatar 2 Fire and Ash a staggering achievement of movie making. She specifically highlighted the visuals and said the movie introduces thrilling new characters. Jazz's reaction fits Cameron's reputation very well, because anytime he creates something, he tries to push technology to new heights. Her words suggest that this third film offers new experiences rather than just repeating what has come before. Collider's Perry Nemiroff also shared how she is still amazed by the Avatar movies even after 3 films. She said the franchise continues to feel magical and that Cameron has added layers of complexity in many parts of the production. This implies that Cameron didn't just focus on bigger action but worked carefully on character depth, world building, and emotional storytelling. Her comments give the impression that Fire and Ash may have more emotional weight than some audiences expect. Mama's Jiki's Tessa Smith mentioned that the movie is absolutely gorgeous to look at, which is almost expected from Cameron. She also said that the film has some amazing moments but still falls into the same traps of repetition that fans have noticed in previous entries. Her reaction suggests that fans who want something totally new may feel the movie plays it safe in certain story areas, but overall, she still appreciated what the movie brought to the table. Courtney Howard gave James Cameron some of his highest praise by saying he still has the sauce. According to her, Cameron knows how to make something big, emotional, and worth watching inside a theater. She said Fire and Ash is exactly the type of experience theaters were made for, which is a huge statement in today's streaming-focused world. Her reaction makes it sound like the movie will be worth watching on the biggest screen possible. Mike Ryan added that he loves the fact that these movies exist in the first place. Even though he noticed that certain scenes or beats seem borrowed from earlier Avatar films, he still felt that the movie transported him to another world for over 3 hours. That kind of reaction shows that while some story ideas may feel familiar, the immersive quality still shines through so strongly that it doesn't really take away from the experience. The movie continues to follow the Sully family, with Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, taking on a deeper leadership role among the Na'vi. Neytiri, played by Zoe Saldana, remains a central warrior figure, and the story appears to dig further into their family dynamic and the dangers they face. Hugh Cameron directed the film himself and wrote the screenplay with Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, who also helped develop the story with Josh Friedman and Shane Salerno. This group has been part of the Avatar world for years now, and that experience may be the reason the movie feels like a natural continuation of the storytelling style fans expect. Fire and Ash officially arrives in theaters on December 19, and based on these early reactions, it looks like the movie is going to spark a lot of excitement among fans. The comments make it clear that the film is a visual powerhouse, full of immersive world building, emotional beats, and plenty of spectacle. Even though some critics pointed out repetition and certain story choices that may divide the audience, the overall reaction seems quite positive. People who love the Avatar world will probably enjoy seeing Pandora in a brand new way, especially on a giant screen with booming sound. The real question going forward is whether this movie will match or surpass the box office successes of the earlier films. Cameron has a history of delivering massive hits, and Avatar movies are known for performing extremely well worldwide. If the early reactions are anything to go by, Fire and Ash could be another huge moment for the franchise, and may even reach that elusive billion-dollar hit status again. But only time will tell once audiences get their chance to watch it in theaters. For now, all eyes are on December 19. Fans across the world are gearing up to return to Pandora, and it seems like James Cameron has crafted another visually stunning ride that will dominate conversations for months. Whether you love the story, the emotional weight, or the breathtaking visuals, this new movie looks prepared to give audiences an adventure that only Cameron can deliver.
Alright, I think we're done. At least I am. I've got like 30 sources here, 31 sources, so I'm good. I'm good to go. Well, you've heard it here first. At least I hope you have. Well, you probably have it, but I'm getting tired, as you can tell. I really don't want to hear anything else. I'm gonna wait till I see the movie. December 18th. Of course, I'm gonna watch it more than once. More than twice, probably more than 3 times. I watched the second one, The Way of Water, like 4 times the year it came out. No, I'm sorry,
10 times the year it came out, 2022, and I watched it at least once this past year, 2025, because they brought it back out. They're probably gonna have like a trilogy, and I think they should. I think they should. I support it. I probably won't. I won't be able to afford that actually. Unless somebody gives me a free ticket, and if they do, I'll take them on it. I'm kind of scared about drinking anything because I'm afraid we'll go to the bathroom. I know there's going to be long bathroom lines, especially if I'm scheduled to see 2 movies a day. So, yep. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe.